Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the CGL Harsh Reality Apex Kill Race Tournament here on this lovely November 24th. I'm Corbeck, joined here in the casting booth by Vaughn, with the ever excellent Sultan handling our production end of things as we get started here on the action. Our four teams up for you on the screen right now are Solified GG in the top left, BDG Black top right, OP, OHP in the bottom left, and then Eternity in the bottom right. And it looks like they're all getting started pretty fast and furious here, Vaughn.
Yeah, straight into it. These guys are not mucking around. You can see in the top left corner, someone's dropped capital. They are obviously searching for kills. Just one up on the board right then, so dropping hot, making it happen. See on the other side there, getting a nice little quick res. So it'll be interesting to see how each team plays this out, what the kind of little loadouts are. I imagine we're going to see lots of raids, lots of pathfinders, lots of lifelines. But it's always interesting. I wonder if we'll see any caustics or any gibbies come out today.
You know, I've heard from sort of the world of tier 1 pugs that or pugs and scrims that things are actually starting to change in hero selection, and people like maybe Watson or a Caustic or maybe a Gibraltar who can better hold these kind of defensive positions that this new map offers are becoming more and more popular. But to your point, I don't think we see any of them here right now. It looks like the kind of standard Pathfinder, Wraith, lifeline run for most of these teams, with a Octane and a Bangalore kind of making some appearances down there in the bottom left and bottom right respectively.
Yeah, it's a different sort of format, isn't it? The kill race is just about speed. You just want high mobility characters. You just want to, like, the lifeline, actually I find for kill races is great because of just that healing factor, just the quick little reses and stuff like that. Not having to carry around heaps of heals, not having to worry about looting so much. You can just run. But obviously Wraith and Pathfinder as well. I'd be interested to see an Octane come out, because I could imagine an Octane, a Wraith, and a Pathfinder together, just being able to like use that speed to dominate the map. It would be very, very interesting to see what they could do.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that kind of combination before, Vaughn, run to great success in some of our previous kill race tournaments, and you can watch it down here in the bottom right corner, but they are kind of struggling just a little bit. The Octane there, I think, just got brought back in. So a little bit of a rough start. Oh, he's taking some damage as well. That's not
big 58 hit from that Peacekeeper, though. Definitely we'll see a lot of Peacekeepers today. That is one thing about, like, there has been a lot of sort of controversy, I guess, about the recent Peacekeeper buffs and nerfs and stuff like that.
Right.
As far as kill races go, I guess the Peacekeeper could be a good thing. It allows one player to take on multiple players if he can hit his shots, and assuming they don't also have a countering Peacekeeper, but yeah, it should be. I imagine we'll see a lot of Peacekeepers today.
Yeah, didn't they just recently? I feel like they just recently tuned down some aspects of it.
I believe it was just yesterday. Actually, it was a really quick patch. Asu put out a tweet, and then one of the developers responded, and then the next day there was a patch. So yeah, it's nice to see.
So it looks like they just dropped the rechamber, or they increased the rechamber time by 0.1 and dropped the headshot multiplier by about 0.25. So nothing super significant.
Powerful.
Yeah,
it's still very good. Wasn't nerfed into the ground or anything like that. Hopefully reels it in a little bit. But there's been a lot of people that love it too, so it must be hard for the developers who to listen to.
Indeed. Well, it doesn't seem like any of these teams are really hesitating on getting to the action, but in the bottom left corner, they're OP in a little bit of danger, and you can see in the face cam there, trying to look as stoic as possible as that danger closes in, and they will lose their Wraith, I believe, right there. Maybe another one as well, since two of them were knocked in that situation. Not particularly spectacular. Though still, I mean, when you look at his squad mate sitting there, I believe that's OP Blay right there with 8 kills. Well, it's not bad at all. Also, 5 people watching him. This is pretty good. 2 of them are probably his teammates, but
and 3 salty people, no doubt. I'll go, what the hell? This guy just wrecked us. It's like,
yeah. You see some more action coming in from all sides. Actually, none of these, like I was saying, none of these feeds really giving us any of the kind of waiting sort of pace play that we're used to. A good knock there in the top left corner sends Pathfinder running back to get some cover so he can get a reload in. And 9 squads left in that game in the top right, or top left, I should say. Bottom left, though, only 4 squads, but a lot of pressure being put on Blaze's shoulders to try and wrap that up with 2 of the squad mates out. And I don't think he recovered either of their banners.
No, they're still out there. So that's the question. Does he risk it? Just go out there and try and recover the banners, try and get people in. They've got kills, they've already got placement as well, or does he just wait it out? Like, it's sort of a, is he going to be, I always see this in kill race tournaments as well. Like, is it worth him playing it out and playing it safe for the points, or should they just, just try and wipe and get the team back in and just start hunting the kills again? It's
yeah, I mean, you're right at that. You're right at that cusp. Yeah, you're right at that cusp, right? Because 4 squads left in a sort of pub game, if you're a good player, is not necessarily impossible, right? For you to win out there.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Certainly, it's an uphill battle. And it's an interesting aspect of kind of the strategy of kill races, and because we so often focus on teams that are winning, right, or they're getting all their matches, you don't often see them having to make those considerations about whether or not they need to drop out early, reset, et cetera, but it does look in the case of OP, Blay will be trying to carry on for as long as possible here. No sign of stopping. Interesting purple armor, but only a white helmet, so hopefully that's not too much of a detriment.
Yeah, the always the interesting loot sometimes. The RNG makes every game different, doesn't it? So, yeah, it's an interesting.
It really does. I mean, that's just part of the challenge, right? Is just trying to figure out the best rotations to counteract said RNG. But if you look in the bottom right corner, 4 squads left in that game with a decent amount of kills coming in there for the folks at Eternity.
Purple shields.
Yeah,
gold, like a nice setup. Gold helmet there. These guys are, good positioning already as well, overlooking. I think it's drill site.
Yeah, they're moving in and finishing.
Imagine these guys have probably got it. You can feel the inevitable momentum these guys have got. They're wolves. They're hunting at the moment. They've got that confidence up, and they're yep, another squad down, just like that. Easy.
Definitely. It's when you're going up against that's the kind of squad where you start shooting at them, and then you just start to panic when you realize they all have purple shields. And if you're looking at the top right corner,
stopping either. Yeah.
No, they're not stopping. Yeah, they're coming straight at you with that octane. They're riding into you, not riding away. 2 squads left here in an easy championship up there in the top right corner for BDG Black. A second place finish for OP down there in the bottom left.
Done. Good start.
Yeah, good start.
Yep, there we go. Easy champion.
I forget you're slightly behind me, I think, in your feed.
Yeah. Just I am casting from Australia, so we're
this has got to cross the Pacific Ocean. It's not that big. I don't understand.
Yeah. This should be instant.
Yeah, it really should be. Just saying. No, looking at that, 18 squad kills with the first place finish.
Nicely done. That's pretty good. Not a bad start. Hopefully, see a game like that at the start. I find that teams the confidence starts building. I think one of the biggest thing in kill races that kills teams is they have a couple of bad games at the start, just RNG, just got unlucky, and then that sort of I wouldn't call it tilt, but it's like a bit of panic, I guess, starts to build up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that's a few games that we've missed, and that's points that we've missed. We've got to get this next one. Oh, I didn't get loot. Oh, we've got to get, and that's sort of that frustration and stress, I guess, starts building. And I've seen. And I suppose that's where the professionalism comes in. Teams that can handle that stress and handle that little bit of tilt and the frustration and still not let it affect their gameplay. Those are the guys that come out on top.
Yeah, the
mental, cool under pressure.
Right?
So,
yeah. It's a huge part of any sport. Esports obviously not immune to the need to have a really strong mental game. I do feel like in these kill race formats, though, like you were saying, when you're playing so fast and so quick, and it feels so disastrous if you get knocked out early, it is quite a challenge to kind of pull everything back together and come back in it. But neither of these none of these teams that we're watching seem to be off to a particularly bad start. And there's another championship down there in the bottom right corner for Eternity. So 2 champions out of the 4 already here. And it looks like in the top right, BG Black jumping back in. So that's good
stuff. There's so many amazing Apex players out there, honestly. These guys are shredding through.
Yeah, so that's a first place finish with 24 kills, which is really quite good, especially just starting out. I mean, you did kind of say, you know, their victory was inevitable, and it does seem that they fulfilled that with that poor Wraith hiding around the corner like something out of a 80s
Yeah.
slasher flick, waiting for the angry robot to
Yeah.
come finish her off.
Yeah, if only you could drag your guns along the ground, like, you know how they do the axe, you can just hear the grinding coming
Yeah,
in towards you just to freak them out that little bit more, you know?
yeah. Spam voice lines. I don't know what the
Yeah, I am inevitable, yeah.
yeah. Hello, friend. Ah, anyway.
Yeah.
Uh,
I see you.
yeah, exactly. The overly happy. I've not seen that Wraith skin before. The Wicked Witch skin in the top right corner. That's pretty good. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
know,
the
they're getting
Halloween skins, they did a good job.
they did
They
do
did
a
a
good
good
job.
job.
There's some very
Yeah.
entertaining ones for sure. And you see a little bit of action down here in the bottom left corner, kind of an early engagement around this construction site, which for a lot of teams seems a very popular drop site. Vaughn, I think in our last kill race tournament,
Yeah.
as we were watching, I think we saw Chis and I were coming on the fact that we saw almost every team dropping there like in a very consistent fashion. It's kind of like the new Skull
It
Town almost.
it is definitely the Skull Town. I almost like get that sort of tilted towers kind of vibe of like you want early kills and you want early engagements. You drop those two buildings in capital, and you are definitely going to find them. Another good place to pick up lots of kills is Train Yard as well, and because it's got that rotation straight into capital city, it can if you get a hot zone in Train Yard, that can be another really good place to pick up a lot of kills. But I think Capital City, because of the verticality in it, even if you don't get loot, there's a lot of chances to outplay people and run away, I guess, so you can get loot. So it's hard because there's a lot of people around, but the RNG can be somewhat circumnavigated by like good movement, you know. And if you watch guys, you can see down in the corner actually climbing up the sides of the building and stuff like that. It's that kind of advanced movement that can just get you out of trouble using that verticality. And it's always interesting battles. You
Oh
can
yeah,
see them now.
definitely.
Yeah, unfortunately, getting hit from all angles. That is another part that's a bit of a risk. You are kind of in the middle of Capital City, and I think once everybody loots, everybody looks up at those two buildings like, what's happening over there? We heard gunshots just before. Let's all push over that way. And you're
Right. I
that
mean,
team that just finished healing up, you know.
yeah, you do hear the gunfire quite loud in the city, especially when
Yeah.
everybody's packed in there. But again, another
Yeah.
team in the bottom right corner, that would be Eternity. They're dropping in on the construction site too. So quite a positive place to be. And you're right, with the rotation, kind of a lot of places you can go from Capital City, that construction site
Yeah.
that allows you can rotate to Skyhook. I don't know why you would go to Epicenter, but you could. But, you know, there's options. There's options.
Maybe you enjoy the snow, you know, like
Maybe you
wanna
enjoy
do a bit of
that ice
sightseeing,
sculpture. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You want to, yeah.
Whatever it is, for that matter. But see, kind of most of these guys kind of in their mid game right now, sort of 10 squads, 12 squads. The numbers increasingly going down if you look up there in the top right corner with BDG Black getting some knocks right there, doing a good job. They've engaged again on this construction site. I think this is the second or third fight they've had in here, and it does look like it's one that they should win. Ooh, ran out of ammo on the primary. The good secondary swap. Some old school.
I do love to see some Prowler with the select fire. I think it's one of the best weapons in the game. It's kind of obviously hard to get it all set up and stuff because you need the select fire, you need the extended magazines, you need the HCOG. But when you get it going, I think it's a contender. Like, feels like it can match the R99 almost now. I'm not sure if they've buffed it recently or something, but it's been feeling quite nice lately.
Yeah,
You
it's
don't
it's
need
always
to worry about a barrel stabilizer.
Yeah, it's always been one of those guns. I feel like it kind of has been it's been there. The select fire receiver kind of, you know, has made it a very effective weapon in a lot of people's hands. Certainly in the hands of this individual, but it's looking a little bit dangerous there considering two of the team
Ooh,
are
they've got
down.
a lot
What a clutch.
Yeah. Nicely done, sir. The Prowler coming out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you wouldn't expect anything
nice
less
good work.
from your from your lifeline, right? Kind of in that cleanup position if they can stay alive until the end, and doing a really good job of winning out and restarting the team there. Meanwhile, in the bottom left corner, it's a bit of a disastrous situation there for the Wraith. Will portal right out, just in case you needed a reminder on why that character is pretty good. But the pursuit still on here. Getting airstriked as well. Why not? Red. Oh, it's a risky
Oh
one,
my
though. I mean,
god, it's yeah, they're throwing everything at him. Oh, he's gonna be able to get the
they're
res off
still alive.
it. Yeah. That's
And
where the stories come. Remember that time that we dropped capital and they dropped every single ultimate on us and they chased us across half of the thing and then I got you up with the res and then we killed. It sort of creates those hero moments.
Oh, indeed, and I should add, I think that was a spectacular play by Blay right there on that Bangalore, kind of looped back just outside the radius of that airstrike and put in what essentially amounted to covering fire to stop that pursuit from coming in. And I'm sure they were much pleased with their teammate taking that kind of quick thinking action there. I think that's what saved them from somebody pushing up and just finishing them off while they were going into the res and getting those heals. Meanwhile, in the bottom right corner, I should say, it looks like things kind of ended a little bit disastrously. They're on a full reset there and going back into a game. 6 squads left in the top left for Solidified GG. I think they had a little bit of a disappointing start, if I remember correctly, but it looks like this game's going quite well. 6 squads left, 7 kills on screen.
And decent loot now too. You can see they've all got, like, blue shields, but there's a gold shield in there. There's an R99. These guys are equipped enough. They're ready to go. They've got enough to work with.
Yeah, they really
going down, but that Prowler again coming out. Love to see it. It's one of my favorite weapons. So.
In the right hands is very deadly, and I think you can make that argument out of probably most of the guns, right, in Apex, but certain ones maybe are just not great.
A little bit easier. Yeah. Oh yeah. Obviously the Mozambique. If you get killed with the Mozambique, you just got flexed on. Really.
Every game's got one, right? Where it's the flex cannon, as it were. Kind of a little bit of Rainbow Six Siege style urban clearance up there in the top left or the bottom left corner, as they just kind of kicked down that door and came in guns blazing. And just look at that hip fire. Now they're punching. My God.
Beautiful work.
Yeah.
It's just relentless. It's like watching lava move across a field. Just love it.
There was really no
the confidence that they're pushing in with as well. There's no holding back. It's like, we have got this. Love to see it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Swift63, for your 200-bit donation. Much appreciated. I like your Mario emotes as well. That's good. Never enough Mario emotes in the world. 4 squads left for the top left. 7 squads, 15 squads due to the restart, and then 7 squads. And it looks like, a little bit rough there for Eternity. They're going to lose, unless they get really lucky, they might lose their Wraith here. It looks like the Octane came back and just scared off.
Game too.
Yeah, scared off the pursuit, and Octane will clean up at least one, and I think they're going to go in for the res right here, but that looked like it could have been a really rough start there with 15 squads still left in that game. You hate to see it.
You do hate to see it. When it happens a couple times in a row, I've seen teams get so unlucky, and you wonder if they sort of broke a mirror or something before they started playing. It's like, can someone give them purple shields, please? Like, help these poor people.
That's the that's the RNG in play, right? Sometimes,
and that's where the better players, they can adapt to that, and they
right
somehow,
especially in these sort of pub settings. And we do know, based off recent comments by the devs, right, that even these sort of pub playlist games supposedly have sort of soft skill-based matchmaking is the story. We don't know any of the details of that, but we do know that it presumably exists. And look at that excellent use of that grappling hook, by the way, in the top left corner. I don't know if you saw that, Vaughn, but it was a great little run into the wall and hop up there. I thought he was going to drop for a second, but well done.
Yeah, the Pathfinder is I use grapple in Titanfall, so that was the very first thing I did in Apex was chuck the grapple on, chuck Pathfinder on. Can you do the grapple sling? Such a fun movement mechanic, It
really is. Yeah. I think there are a lot of people who did that.
You get used to it. You get used to being able to do that, and you play the other characters, and you're like, "What?" I feel like it's almost like your wings got clipped or something. It's hard to adjust sometimes. Like, I've got to walk upstairs.
It's very true. It's very true. I don't remember what tactical kit I used to run when I played Titan 3, but I remember grappling hook was always one of my favorites, and it was an awesome kind of
Yeah.
swinging around. And definitely they captured the essence of that on Pathfinder. And these guys, these really good players, just know how to use it so well. I mean, you saw a
Oh, yeah.
classic example of that from Solified GG's perspective, with an excellent use of the grappling hook to get out of a barrage there from a Gibraltar and kind of help his
Yep.
team close down that fight.
And that kind of that type of grapple that he just did actually it shows that he's got the timing down, because to get that one on the ground where you boost up over it, you've got to hit that jump exactly as the grapple hits. So that's really good muscle memory, and yeah, you can tell he's a skilled player, you know.
Yeah, definitely has taken the time to learn the physics of it, and
yeah.
it's especially when it comes to Pathfinder players, right? Like when you understand the physics of your kit, it's what separates you from, you know, good players from really the best. And there he goes again, demonstrating it perfectly. And just look at how fast he closes the distance. Now he's going to get around the backside of whoever this poor individual is, and that's just an excellent end.
Brilliant work. Like, and you just like wolves just splitting off, instantly hunting down from both sides. There was really nothing that person could have done besides just, if they were a Pathfinder or something like that, and just run just run for their life.
Yeah. There comes a point probably where you have to accept the inevitability of defeat. And number one placement there with 23 kills is a great second game there for Solified GG. Puts them back on the board, as it were. BDG Black over there in the top right corner, though, they're moving into the final three squads in their match, kind of hunkering down, taking cover, using those gold shields. And a nice little brutal engagement there, and a great knock by One Brutal Force. Or is that One Brutal Force? I can't remember his name. But great knock right there, all things considered. Look at him go. He's gonna get like a whole squad here.
Oh yeah, that's he's ripping through it. I do love the that's a combo that I've used a little bit, the R99 and Prowler, and it's kind of counterintuitive because he's like, oh, well, it's two SMGs, it's kind of just doubling up. It's not, you know, I should have a long range weapon and a short range weapon. But when you kind of commit to that role and go, okay, it's going to be short range and it's going to be fast and furious, you've got those two guns to back you up. So when that other person is swapping to a less effective kind of ranged gun, you're swapping again to just another SMG and just blasting them down. And it is like it's a squad wiper, that one. It's kind of similar to the R99 and PK combo as well, where you can get up in their face and you've got the kit to just, if your aim's on, you can easily wipe the squad.
Yeah, Orthrus there leading his team.
Nice aggressive kit.
For a great number one finish with another 24 kills stacked in. So BGG Black still going strong. I think that was their second map that they've dropped in on, and a very strong performance, all things considered. Look at those damage numbers too.
I was going to say the 2,000 damage there, and then the 10 kills. Very nice.
Indeed. Yeah, the R301 I think remaining probably the R301 probably is the most prevalent weapon across all our teams, but I will say that there has been a sort of a resurgence, maybe not a resurgence, but a surge, let's say, in R99 usage. I feel like it feels a little bit more accurate lately, but maybe that's just me. I don't know if they've tweaked it somehow. I know that I was looking at, and bless him, Jet Set Jamerson's gun stuff. He doesn't really go into kind of like recoil deviation and things like that, but I don't think they've tweaked it that much. But for some reason, I feel like I'm seeing it more and more used in games.
Yeah, even at extended ranges that you kind of wouldn't think it was viable at too, which is interesting. So I think maybe it's just that we're trusting the gun more. You know, we're all learning what these guns are capable of, and even using them outside of their sort of their demographic, I suppose. You know, you see a lot of PC guys using the R99 with a Peacekeeper or something like that, and they're using that R99 as their ranged weapon, and if you can control the recoil, it's actually quite good.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the big thing probably is just learning the more people play, right? And the longer that the game exists, the better the control of the gunplay mechanics becomes. Yeah. And I mean, when we talk about the R99, right, it does, I think, have the highest RPM of any of the guns in Legends. I want to say it's somewhere above, it's at least 1,000 RPM, which when you think about it is pretty crazy.
Just a little bit.
A lot of bullets, right?
Yeah, maybe the Havoc and the Devotion at full speed might be close to it, but I mean that's
Yeah.
the R99 doesn't have any wind up. You know, it's just it almost reminds me of those guns from the old Aliens movie where it was just kind of like
Yep.
noise.
Yeah,
It's so
exactly.
fast that you can't get individual bullets.
Yeah, I think that according to the statistics I have on guns, I think that the Devotion has about a RPM of 900, so it does beat out the Devotion. Its RPM is 1080, which is really quite strong, and I can understand why it's becoming more popular, especially in a game where the more damage you can chuck downfield, the quicker. If you're accurate, really is the best, right? It's not like you necessarily need to aim for those precision headshots, but a nice little interesting bubble dance going on here in this bottom right corner.
The Gibby dance, hey, yeah, I love him. Yeah, no, and it finishes off with a nice little punch to the face. Yeah.
I don't actually know where the Gibraltar came from because none of the people involved in that fight were Gibraltar, but
they just found a random shield out there and like time to dance. Like, yeah.
They've been playing their Winston in Overwatch. They learned the bubble dance. They're exporting it to other games. That's great.
That's great.
And very entertaining to watch. Always interesting to see people play around it. As a person who enjoys Gibraltar, I find him a really enjoyable character. It's always interesting to watch people play around that dome because it seems like such a simple piece of kit, but in actuality, it's very versatile. It has a lot of really interesting uses. And if you can kind of use it to bait or whatever, it's really effective.
Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? Because I think in Apex there is a lot of subtle things in this game that you don't think matter. Like you're saying with the shield, it's a simple sort of shield, but the way that you can use it and doing the dance and stuff like that is really. And another thing with the doors are similar, like the way that you can play through doors and stuff, and who smashes down the door and who's holding the door, and just little subtle things that you wouldn't quite think of, and like it can make a huge difference.
Oh no, exactly. I mean, think about using caustic traps to effectively lock doors behind you or block doors. Such a like you would never think of it, right? Caustic, toxic trapper. You throw it next to the door and you hope they walk in and it pops and you go shoot them. But you can actually just like lock a space down by blocking all the doors. Yeah,
I just need a moment to myself here. Like,
exactly. No, you're gonna have to beat that door down if you want to come into my toxic trap room. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Oh, look at this nasty in the top left corner. Solidified coming in over the top, looking down on some poor unsuspecting people here. Gibraltar popping that dome. Oh, nope. It's gonna take a lot more than that, bud.
The dome dance begins again. Oh, but the teamwork from these guys, we're constantly seeing them coming in from like multiple angles. There's only 3 of them, or only 2 of them, sorry. And I bet it feels like to the other team that they're everywhere, picking up some gold shields as well, which is nice.
Yeah, they must have had a disconnect.
Seems like that, the way they can spread out. Yeah, I guess so. And they're still pushing through. They can clutch it out. That's what happens when you've got teams like that. Each individual player can easily wipe a squad themselves. It's amazing watching them just split off, and just having that sort of confidence as they collapse in on enemies from every angle.
We've definitely actually seen that in action. Yeah, 100%. I struggle with it. Like, there's no doubt. I don't think I'm capable of wiping a squad on my own. I'm barely wiping a squad with teammates. But it is actually a strategy we've seen a number of teams of these like high skill teams employ, where they do kind of just send one man out as kind of a roving hunter sort, and you just see how many kills he can collect, while the other 2 kind of play together. That's not what they're doing here. Obviously, they had somebody drop, but still, it's not non-viable in the kill race format. Let's just put it that way.
I think we saw that on the very first ever Twitch tournament. I believe it was Ninja and Richard King Richard were by themselves, and Dizzy just went off on his own little rampage, dropping 20 bombs like every game. I think that was one of the things that everyone was like, "Who the hell is this Dizzy guy?"
Right.
It's like leaving Ninja by like he's off by himself by Ninjas with King Richard. Like, what the hell?
I mean, if you got the skills to get bills, if you're mechanically gifted enough to can do that, it 100% works. But they had a really good drop on that team that they jumped in on there. They're dropping back towards this kind of, I don't know what is this called? The sulfur swamps? I don't know.
The yellow sulfur.
I'm still learning the names. I barely knew the names on everything.
I don't even think this has a name, actually. I don't
does it
think
not?
it does.
I feel like it should.
I could be wrong on that because what you've got the sorting factory just behind it.
Yeah, I'm kind of
not
I'm looking
sure.
at a
Yeah.
map now. Yeah, you're right. I don't think there's the
Yeah.
geyser, but it's not really that.
Well,
So
it's open. We can call it whatever we
hot
want.
springs. I don't know.
The hot springs. Yeah.
In Fortnite, you can't walk like 5 feet without running into a named something. So it's interesting
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Ooh, airstrike coming in there on the bottom left corner. But what a throw from the Arc Star! I think he hit somebody with it. He did indeed. Now they're coming in, closing this gap with the speed.
The ninja.
The
Don't you
ninja
just love
indeed.
a good arc star hit there.
That one was from way downtown too. Hey, really like
Yeah.
Hail Married that. Oh, but this is now turning into a bit of a dangerous situation. There's more smoke, more airstrikes. All their shields are down, but they're closed in now, so they're kind of fighting them, holding them by the belt, trying to take this other team
they're
down.
committed. Yeah, they have to push.
Oh no, is it disaster after such a good initiation? It's all down to the Bangalore play again and saves. Huge play by the Bangalore there. Blay has just been making huge plays for his team so far today. Wow, really spectacular stuff. Great.
It's going to be lovely. I love the clutches, the hype. It's cool. It's one of the best things about this game, actually.
Yeah, it's very, very entertaining kind of to watch the progression of those gunfights where they kind of initiate and then just a few good key ability usages and you can just kind of turn the entire situation on its head. I mean, they were one heartbeat away from disaster right there. If Blay had kind of gone left instead of going right, but wow.
Yeah, he was one hit by the end of it. Yeah. This one needed a few more bullets on him and it would have been all.
You're shredding and vibing. That's great. That's what we're all about here. I'm enjoying watching this kind of toxic or caustic clearance, I should say, in this top left screen. And they do eventually, I think, just get tired of waiting and pushing there.
Yeah. This is pushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
They thought about it. I mean, they really thought about address that, but yeah, in the end of the day, it looked like the direct strategy there was the one that paid out the best. I think it was just the caustic hiding in there, so not really anything too intimidating.
I was gonna say they're probably waiting to sort of like try and suss out how many people are up there because you come up there and then there's 3 guys hiding in 3 corners. It gets you know what I mean? You can shoot 2 of them, but there's going to be a guy behind it no matter which way you look. So especially with that caustic gas going around. Yeah, can be a very hard character to counter in those situations if played correctly. But at the same time, I think some caustics rely on their gas a little bit too much, and I think we kind of saw it there where he's not too concerned about shooting these people coming up the stairs. Like if he had a position above those stairs, he would have been able to do that quite easily. But he's just thinking his gas is going to do all the work, or at least keep them off.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the gas. The gas itself, right, is not as threatening perhaps as the gun you're carrying, right? It's not going to get the kills, and there's a nice little bubble at salt right there in the top corner. Just kind of lunge. They use the jump pad to jump into the bubble before the airstrike could land, and that's got to be one vaguely annoyed Gibraltar right now.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But good plays. I like it.
Oh yeah.
And that's a sort of textbook, isn't it? The defensive Gibraltar countered by the aggressive Octane. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry. No.
I was just saying it's cool that they seem to kind of be releasing characters in a way where I wouldn't say Crypto is an aggressive character, but he does allow the rest of your team to play aggressively. And Octane was an aggressive character, and then you had this sort of Watson in between that. So it's almost like a defensive character, an aggressive character, a defensive character. And I kind of hope they keep releasing it like that. So every play style's got something to sort of look forward to, and something effective.
Oh, indeed, yeah, and again, that was the kind of illustration of what we were talking about, just having the mechanical skill there, right? When you can take that jump pad straight into the Gibraltar Dome and have confidence that you can win that up close gunfight. I think probably a lot of teams who aren't kind of pros, for lack of a better word, I mean, these guys are basically there, a lot of them, would not take that jump pad because you are not confident enough in your ability to jump into that dome and actually come out of that gunfight on top.
Yeah, definitely.
But man, when you can do it, right, it opens up a whole nother world of possibilities. That's that little bit of confidence that the skill brings. really
It
makes a big
is a
change.
huge thing, I think, the confidence that, and we're talking about it before, the mental game. If you're going into a gunfight thinking you're going to lose it, even if you're better than that person, you're going to you sort of talk yourself out of it almost. You don't initiate fights that you should, and you hesitate when you shouldn't, and that gets you killed. But just even if it's false confidence that isn't really backed up by skill, I think it's sometimes better to just go, no, this person is going to die.
Yeah.
This clip of this I-99, they are going down, and you almost want to get it to a point where you're surprised if they don't die, and that's I think it's
True.
weirdly enough, but I think it's like that. You sort of yeah, you just sort of can get on these runs where you're super confident and you push everybody, and then it can be shaken as well quite easily, that confidence. And then all of a sudden you're going in a gunfight, it's like, oh, I'm not gonna quite get this, I don't think. And yeah, like I said, you hesitate. Oh, another championship. I think these guys have got 3 in a row now.
They have gotten 3 in a row. Meanwhile, Solidified GG right there kind of dropped out, number 3, and then a 4th place finish in the bottom left corner for OP. So a bit rough for both of them. But look at that, number 1 with 27 kills on the deck, and they have been putting up a really impressive performance. Yeah, nearly half the lobby. You're right. It's interesting. I don't usually think of it in those terms, but yeah, like they nearly killed 50% of the people who died.
Team off. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Isn't it? That damage as well. Like I can't see Jazzy's, but 2 guys over 2,000 damage. Like that's a yeah. These guys are on the path.
Yeah, they really are.
They I think they might be the team to beat at the moment, just with that consistency.
Yeah, from what I have written down by what they've been doing, I will actually think that they probably are the team to beat right now. They've got a 1st place finish with 18, a 1st place finish with 24, and a 1st place finish with 27. So pretty solid, and getting better. Numbers are.
Yeah, I was gonna say, will we see it? Like, yeah. 30 this 35. Time. Let's go for 50. Let's
why not?
Set a world record. Yeah.
Now the obviously our scoreboard is kind of being updated as we speak, right? As teams send in information on their placements and finishes. For those of you who are joining us who are not super familiar with the kill race format, essentially a time is given. I think in this case it's 3 hours. Teams just go and play games, and then you get awarded points based on the number of eliminations, the place in which you finish in the game, and the amount of damage that you do. And you have as many attempts as you can make in that 3-hour time. So that's why when Vaughn and I are speaking about like speed and why that's really important, well, there's the reason why, right? The more games you can get in, the more opportunities for points that you have. It's not so much about surviving to the end, though obviously that's very beneficial, as it is about killing a lot of people on the way.
Yeah. And I think it makes for exciting viewing. Like I really enjoy watching kill race tournaments. Watching scrims and stuff is always really cool as well, but you do have that inevitable lull at the start of the matches, right, where as everyone sort of gets their loot and gets positioned and stuff like that, a lot more sort of methodical, slower pace, a lot more tactical. What everyone's thinking about, should I engage? Should I actually, take this fight, or are we just going to get third party? Should we wait? Whereas kill races is just just rip the shirt off, just run at everybody, frothing at the mouth. It's where are they?
Kill as many as we can.
Yeah, that's it.
Blaze of glory. But you're right.
Unleash the beast. Just
survival by its very nature, of course, necessitates a much more cautious playing style. It also brings certain characters to the fore, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. But these teams all sticking with the sort of hyper aggressive setups here, kind of these fast characters, the Wraith and the Pathfinder are almost mandatory in this kind of format, I would say.
Definitely, yes. Yeah. The ability as well with Pathfinder and Wraith, no one has that kind of escapability. No one can just sort of. You can make a lot as a Pathfinder main. You can make mistakes that other characters can't make. True. Like if you, I can run out into situations that I shouldn't have any business being in and just grapple out of it. Go whoopsie daisy, and same with Wraith. Like whoopsie daisy, I'll just phase out of this, but. You did that as Lifeline, or Bangalore, I suppose, has a little bit of escapability with the smoke, but
a little bit, not as effective though, right?
Exactly.
If you wander into a room and you're like, "Oh, I shouldn't be here," you can drop the smoke and try and get out, but it's not the same kind of as the Wraith, where you just pop your little phase shift or whatever it is and just yeet right out of danger and reset somewhere else. But they are not to say that that doesn't make them any less skilled, because it's skill based,
Oh
right?
no,
But they are very
definitely not.
they are forgiving heroes in the sense that
Yeah.
they have a lot more leeway than certain other characters do in those kind of situations. Pathfinder are kind of filling that sort of tanky role too. Does have a little bit of survivability to him that maybe a Wraith doesn't have, but still not as good of escapability. You kind of see them
Yeah.
going for the high ground here. I'm just watching. It's interesting to see how some teams just always gravitate towards these high places.
Without
top
even thinking
corner.
as well.
Yeah, they really want the top of that building. They're gonna
This
get
almost
it.
reminds me of it's like my cats, you know, they always just go for the
Yep.
highest point. To push the other one up.
Straight out of
Pretty
Sun
down,
Tzu,
yeah.
you know, just basic art of war
Yeah,
right
that's
there,
it.
right?
I was gonna say, yeah, nice reference there.
Get that high ground. I feel like that's the only part of Sun Tzu that anybody actually remembers, but get that high ground.
It's all I know, yeah. Hey, it's worked since ancient times, you know.
It works. It works in Apex.
That's it. Isn't that sort of strange to think about, actually, that, you know,
Yeah.
get the high ground has been a staple from for humans for who knows how long.
Yeah.
And now it's translated into digital, you know.
It works in the digital world.
Yeah.
But they certainly some of these teams following it to the letter, right? And we've seen, I think, of all the teams watching so far today, these four Solidified Alpha, I think, really demonstrates just some spectacular positioning. And you were saying it earlier with their kind of comms where they're coming in from three different angles at once, but they continue to kind of get these really good spots. And almost their favorite strategy seems to be kind of getting up on these high grounds, getting a real assessment of the situation where the enemy is, and then just kind of dropping in on them. And it's very aggressive. A Falcon-esque style of play, you know, they just drop down on top of them, and they've done it again and again and again, and they did it when it was a group of two, and it really worked out, and it continues to be really advantageous for them. But now they're taking a gunfight kind of on a flat land. But again, that Pathfinder leap just kind of, it's not what you want to see, you know, it's not what you expect either, truth be told.
Yeah, straight away.
He just came right over the top of those walls.
Very, very good Pathfinder player. It's really cool to watch. I've played a fair bit of Pathfinder, and I like to see it. Played very well.
Yeah, it's fascinating to watch, and it is entertaining. But I should say some of these other teams doing all right. That being said, 12 squads left in that top right corner for EDG Black, and it doesn't look like any kills, at least for Orthus there, are Perspective player, which is a little bit of a shame. Yeah,
I guess it's an interesting drop. I mean, they haven't. These guys, I don't think I've seen them drop capital. Actually, they're dropping a little bit safer. Sorting Factory is still quite busy. I think Sorting Factory and Train Yard are the two other places. You pretty much guaranteed at least one team. So, I mean, that's where that consistency is sort of coming from, I guess, too, eliminating that RNG, only having to take out a couple teams at the start. But it can work in their detriment if they don't find enough people now. It's kind of...
Yeah.
I imagine they're probably going to push towards capital now, but we'll see.
It does look like they've got someone here that they've engaged finally, but yeah, I mean, you just don't like to see that, right? In this format with almost half the squad's down, and you don't have any kills on one of your squad members is a little worrisome, right? And they barely escape kind of a Gibraltar airstrike there as they reset a little bit. Jazzy, I think, way up ahead, trying to engage. They're a little split right here. This is a little bit of a dangerous territory.
I was going to say as well, that Gibraltar, that's actually come down in quite a good spot where it has split them off like that. It's like the Gibraltar ult, and same with the Bangalore ult, they don't have to be used to get damage. Obviously, that's a nice little bonus if you can, but it can be just used to cut teams off, or what we've done a lot of times as well. If someone's on the team's gone down, you get your Gibraltar to chuck out his ult, and it sort of stops the team from pushing you, so you can really get your res off, or almost use like the May wall then, where it, a teammate to push forward, so it's like, okay, we'll chuck the ult behind him so the rest of the team cannot get to him. And lucky enough, these guys, it doesn't really matter because they're all beasts individually. So
yeah, exactly.
Sort of that case of like, I'm not in here with you, you're with me. Like,
it's true. I was just thinking that actually. You're pick the wrong guys, right? To try and though you're split up, it's not as bad as it looks, but Yeah, it is what is it? I don't want to say textbook, but maybe the stereotypical off-displayed usage of that Gibraltar ultimate combined with his tactical ability. You know, you drop the airstrike, throw down the dome, get your buddy up. The funny thing, I did that. I was playing once, and because I played Gibraltar so much, you know, you get a pretty good idea of what the dome timing is. So I waited for because you know there's an order, right, when you throw the barrage versus when you deploy the dome. Because if you're not careful, one or the other will run out, you know, before the other one. But I waited until he threw down his dome to pick up his teammate, and then I just dropped the barrage on top of it, waited. And it eventually disappeared. It's like,
you're just sort of sitting there looking at.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down. He was just rezzing his teammate, and I was just standing there waiting. I was like, I hate Gibby on Gibby violence, but you know, you gotta be careful. You gotta know your vibes.
What would have been cooler is like if you away at that point. It's like, and
you just walked away, left it.
Yeah, you know, you're too cool. You know what's happening.
You gotta confirm the key. You gotta, you gotta double tap. You gotta make sure. But,
yeah, that's it. That's true.
you gotta make sure. But, it was
very like stop Gibby on Gibby violence.
Yeah, stop Gibby on Gibby violence, users. Nothing sadder than watching a Gibbies having to fight each other because you both know the struggle. Like if you've been playing Gibby. But you know, nice games we're seeing here.
Decent spot now. Also,
he is. No, yeah, he is definitely in a lot better place now, perhaps, than he has been since the start of the game.
Yeah.
I'd say. But I'm just watching Solified Alpha kind of tear, Solified GG, I should say, just kind of tearing it up here. 11 kills on the deck for Gwen here on this this Pathfinder, which is kind of crazy. With 4 squads left, I mean, they're chugging towards the final conclusion. And Nipsey only has blue shields, the Wraith there, but you kind of feel like that's not going to be. Oh my God! Just look at those mechanics. You see what he did with the Pathfinder? He just covered like half the map. Like, holy hell. Yeah. He knows what he's doing, I tell you.
That's the beauty of the Pathfinder. Yeah, you put a couple little slides of that, and the speed you can get is amazing.
You'd love to see it. You'd love to see the grasp there. And he's moving in. They're going to, I think, wipe another squad right here. This Gibraltar trying his best to play around that dome, but not quite managing to do it. And now they're up to 12 kills here with just 2 squads left. And that's just 12 kills for Gwyn. That doesn't count the rest of this team that he's with, and they're all very good players. So
I was going to say, the fact that he's got 12 kills as well with 2 other teammates that are so good, it says a lot. I think they're playing quite well. Like they just did exactly what you were saying before. You know, they've gone up onto the high ground, kind of like that hawk. They've got a bit of damage, and then there's they swoop, and we are seeing him. Like, this is really good Pathfinder player because he is playing that scout role. He is normally the first to engage. After they've put in some damage, he's just ziplining in there or like grappling in there and finishing up these kills. It's really cool, actually. I like to sort of see it. You can almost see the Bangalore. I'm not sure if this is on purpose, if they talk about this, or if it's just kind of happening naturally because of the speed of the Pathfinder. But, you know, they're kind of hanging back, doing a bit of damage, and then all of a sudden you'll see that grapple in, and boom, they go down, you know, and then the other guys collapsing behind them. Very cool.
Oh, indeed. But looks like they're moving towards their stunning conclusion. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, 4 squads left in that game there for OP. So they're trying to finish off strong after maybe 1 or 2 rough games. It does look like in the top right corner, BDG Black finally, Orthos did pick up some kills there. He's got 3 or 4 now, I think, to his name, with 5 squads left in that game. And kind of 11 squads left for Wags down there in the bottom right, trying to kind of close it out. But if you see Blay and the other members of OP down there have done a good job kind of just closing in on some poor unfortunate team and are trying to finish them off.
Some poor unfortunate team. Yeah, it's like to have no idea that he just got chucked into like a scrim lobby, basically. Oh, that poor Wraith caught with the healing. Picking up a nice helmet there too. So
thank you.
With sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna take a moment to acknowledge here. Thank you very much, Virus. BTS Virus, for your Twitch Prime subscription, your 5 months of Twitch Prime. Thank you. We don't have a catchphrase here at the CGL to follow that up with, but great job. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You know, every bit of support we can get obviously helps keeps the light keep the lights on. We can provide more exciting tournaments. And Solidified Alpha up there finishing with 29, or Solidified GG finishing with 29 kills in that match, 12 of which belonged
Oh,
to one of their players, which is spectacular.
nicely done, guys. Beautiful work. 29. I think that might be the highest game so far. Hit the 27 before.
Yeah,
Would
it
have
very
said
well
that.
might be. At
Yeah.
least the one that we've had on stream. 29 kills is kind of insane. To be honest,
It
especially
is.
when you consider like 12 of them went to Gwen, right? Which means that the other two were clocking in, you know, a pretty solid number of kills each of them. I mean, this is crazy. It's a sheer amount of work that they're putting in there. I think in a minute we're gonna swap up our feeds here in a bit. We are, of course, coming to the top of the hour of this tournament so far. All these teams looking really good, but we do want to give an opportunity to get some other people in on the spotlight here, give them a chance to shine. So I think we're gonna take just a quick break here, maybe switch over some of our feeds, give the two of us an opportunity. Get a quick break in here, right? And but for yeah, exactly. For those of us here at CGL, I'm Corbeck, joined in the casting booth by Vaughn, with the lovely Sultan handling all those amazing jump cuts and stuff you're watching in production right now, all thanks to him. And we're going to transition into a quick break there on the back of BDG Black picking up another championship. So thank you for watching, and please stay tuned. ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to this CGL Kill Race tournament in partnership with the wonderful Harsh Reality. Put on today's 3-hour kill race event for Apex Legends, which is really spectacular stuff, all things considered. And thank you so much for your assistance there. And thank you as well to Swift in the break there for your 100 bits. Very much appreciated. We're going to rotate through some of our mixer streams right now and give you an idea of how some of these teams are doing. So first up is Vladimir Kamai here with the team backpack. And 15 squads left in this game and 2 kills already to their credit, which is not bad, Vaughn.
Yeah, not a bad start at all. Dropping train yard. We were sort of talking about this before, the sort of hotspots, train yard, sorting factoring, of course, capital city. My favorite gun, the Prowler. I'm seeing that getting used again. So these guys instantly get my my endorsement. I hope they win. So yeah, it looks like they've cleaned up all these squads in train yards. So I'd say the rotation now is towards capital. I'd be interested to see if these guys split. Oh, I thought they were for a second. I always love when the teams split off and they sort of put that pressure on themselves, and it's like, I can handle this. It's all good. You guys go that way. I'll go this way. We will kill everyone. And nice work on pronouncing that name too, because I was struggling for a second. Currently 13. Nice.
Sorry for...
Wow.
Very, very impressive stuff there.
Yeah. The consistency.
Oh yeah, there's been 3 first place finishes. Good stuff, all things considered. Had to drop out there for a second. Sorry.
You're right.
Life, am I right?
Yes.
One of these days. One of these days. You know, the advantage of casting from like the ESPN soundstage is your family members don't come in to ask you what you want to do for dinner. So it certainly would liven up the production, though, if they did. I must admit.
It's funny. It's quite early here in Australia, and I can hear my fiance. She's risen and making coffees and stuff. I think. Hopefully, I didn't wake her up.
Yeah. High octane Apex casting here. So we're still on Team Backpack, I think, right? Looking at Lanny Kamai. Yeah. It's like some Latin chant right there.
Yeah, I feel like you might summon something into
existence. Exactly.
Say that 3 times.
Little worried. Yeah. Gotta be careful. Great little grappling hook there to hop on to that zip line and work his way up to the high ground here. Back at Capital again, of course. There's the rotation around. People just love clusters of buildings in Apex. Can't get away from
white armor, unfortunately, though.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. 11 squads left in the game too. It's kind of a rough loot break there to only have white armor at this stage, but they do have a target in sight here, Vaughn. It looks like they're closing in pretty fast fashion as well, using those zip lines and a little bit of the grappling hook as we get slightly multicolored there. That's all right. You know, that's okay.
They're on the hunt. I think with this current meta too, with the way that the Peacekeeper is, like, white shields are scarier than they were before. Having only white shields is, when a Peacekeepers are hitting for like 110, that's you don't have much to work with. You know, like, oh, there we go, picked on the blue.
Oh, it comes in, misses that initial shot and the punch. That's a little rough. Thankfully, with the rest of the team there, he will get the knock, which is a great little save, to be honest, by the rest of the backup there. But that could have been bad. I like how he came flying off the zip line, and that would have been really cool if that point blank Peacekeeper shot had connected. You know,
the first one, it would have been.
Smooth. Yeah, it would have been great if he just had it fired slightly to their left. Yeah. Mum, get the camera, but up to the top there of the train station as he's looking for more targets, and I think they might have a squad in mind. And sure enough, though, they've been spotted out here as well. So Lonnie here dropping down almost immediately, trying to run back for cover, and he's in a lot of danger here. Not really that much health left. The shield at least getting terribly low. USAD now here providing the covering fire to get them back into a more safe location, and that allows him to recharge the shield battery and come back in. But that charge rifle, I think, just winged him there as he came around the corner. Maybe it wasn't a charge rifle. It probably would be dead if it was, but that was something that looked like it.
Back in the lobby if that was a charge rifle.
Yeah. Something that looked like it for a second there. That was a bright orange beam.
That nice Peacekeeper shot. I think I'm a little bit behind you as well. Just
you are.
Yeah, coming
That
from
dang
Australia.
Pacific, that dang Pacific Ocean, yeah.
Yep.
That pesky Pacific Ocean.
We need to get
Oh, good.
Elon Musk or someone like that on this. Give us no
Yeah,
delay,
it's okay.
instantaneous sort of like. Yeah.
There's a giant pile of trash the size of Texas out there in the middle of it, so we're fighting back.
Yeah.
Good, good.
Closing the gap.
We're
Closing the
closing that
gap.
gap. We're gonna get there one day.
This
But good
uh,
drop there too by Lonnie with this Peacekeeper. Really, actually demonstrating the Peacekeeper's usage really well here on the stream, which is actually kind of a treat for. Sometimes when you have that multi-twitch, it's kind of hard to see the individual players kind of going at it, but he's really good with it. And it really has an understanding of its range and where the kill hits are with it, how the spread works. You can really tell that he knows what he's doing. It's great.
Yeah, the consistency in the damage numbers that he's getting is something I'm jealous of. I still hit 7s,
Yeah.
10s and stuff. I go 110 to 7. It's it is so powerful.
It's great to see
him. Right.
Yeah, it's great to see him landing it. I mean, it fires, what is it, 11? I want to say 10 or 11 pellet spread, I want to say. Each of those pellets does about 10 damage. So you're looking at, if you can land all the pellets, maybe 110 a shot, right?
Yeah. So 120 just before that. Ooh.
Oh, this is not good, though. They're kind of trapped, and this is not a good scenario at all. I don't know that they can win this out. No, they can, unfortunately. And we're gonna on that unfortunate note, yeah, we're gonna not because of that unfortunate note, just on that note. We're
it's
gonna
a good
walk.
segue.
It was a good segue, to be fair. We're gonna walk over to Save Sin here, representing Team Caliber. He's got 5 kills already with 7 squads left in this match, and wow, this place looks familiar.
Yeah, I think it's called Capital something.
Yeah, I think it's called Capital something too.
Yeah.
And they're here again, and you see this airstrike going in, and they're kind of doing airstrikes. It's nice, actually. Other player as kind of our main point of focus. Again, compared to some of the other sort of kill race stats team comps we've seen, right? These are some different ones, aren't they?
Yeah, it's nice to see a bit of change out, and that's. I suppose from a developer's point of view, this is what they want. They want every hero to be viable. They want no one left out. You want to be able to play your favorite guy and feel effective, and that's kind of we're getting there. It's definitely getting there. I think Gibraltar's becoming a super powerful character. I don't think he's overpowered, but he is good. If he's used well, I often my girlfriend, she plays a Gibraltar, and it's so handy having that shield in the team and just that big barrage and stuff. There's so much in his kit that can be used.
I will admit to part of the reason that I play him is because I'm not the greatest at that instantaneous target acquisition that a lot of these really good players are at, and that Gibraltar shield, if you're a player with slightly slower reflexes, does give you kind of a half a second advantage where you can really bring in your line of sight on a target and bring your gun down. And you've actually kind of seen Save Sin doing a really good demonstration of using that Gibraltar shield to its full effect with that whole team. It's kind of hard to notice if you're not looking for it, but the way in which he positioned himself there, and I wish I had a little, X's and O's drawing app or something. You can see that he always positioned himself in a place where at least one of his sides was kind of covered, or where both of his sides were covered. So the only option that enemy team had was either to try and go all the way around to him, at which point in time he had open shots, or was to come straight at him into the Gibraltar portable shield. And it was just a really well executed positioning there to take full advantage of that, and his teammate dropping him a golden helmet there to complete his little golden loadout. Just look at the recoil control on that R301 though. Whew. My lord.
I think that's there's a lot of people with good aim out there that can shoot, and the aim is really good and their movement's good, but the positioning is I think that is part of the thing that really separates the good players from the great players. You know what I mean? Just that a lot of these guys seem to do it naturally, and it's something that I've tried to work on because I'm terrible at positioning and putting myself in horrible spots. But these guys, they just sort of understand the map. You were saying before, where they position themselves in ways where the enemy can only really come from one direction. It minimizes the flanks. It minimizes the chances of getting third-partied and knocked out. And it's clever, It's really clever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the sort of game sense slash game knowledge aspect of being a pro Apex player comes from two things really. One is the positioning, like knowing where to put your body, and then knowing how to use the movement system. And you can actually see
Yep.
something really interesting about that in this last fight we just saw Save Sin in. When he was taking fire as the Gibraltar, you saw him turn towards the wall really briefly, and that did two things. One, that lowered his hit profile. It also gave him the opportunity to do what we see some players do, where they do kind of that half scramble up the wall and then kind of like kick off it a little bit just to throw off the other team's aim. That's totally what he was looking for right
Yep.
there. And it's that kind of ability to use the movement, of which Pathfinder, right, is the best demonstration, that does make these guys so good at this game.
Yeah, the wall bounce, actually, that was a good pickup. The wall bounce is sort of, it's situational. It's very situational, but when used correctly, it can really get the drop on players, even getting to positions that people wouldn't expect a lot faster. Like I've seen Deltouche, I remember him using it in old Skulltown and being able to like bounce up certain staircases and stuff before anyone would realize what's going on. It's and it just looks cool as well.
It definitely does.
It just has that added benefit. Like if it looks cool and it's effective, then it's the best thing ever.
You can see Sin actually dropping this barrage kind of on the backside of this. I think he was trying to basically force the person he was pushing into back here, Vaughn, and he did so. I don't know that they took much damage going through the barrage. It didn't really stop them, but it was an interesting play nonetheless. He kind of threw that in from downtown, and it looked weird at first, but you can immediately see why as he pushes into this.
Yeah, he was almost hurting the person, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's exactly what he's trying to do, though. It does look like they might have lost track of that individual. And you can see his team kind of all closed in on him, right? Like different angles. But I don't know. Maybe they're hunting just one person right now because there are only 2 squads left.
Yeah, you see this a lot in kill races where they come to the last squad and it's been just a non-stop like wall of destruction up until this point, and then there's like the last team is just hiding somewhere in some little nook and cranny, just dragging it out, and you're like, come on, the clock is ticking,
Yeah.
Like...
just bring yourselves out into the open so we can kill you. No, definitely what they're experiencing here, right, is a bit of this kind of hide and seek end of gameplay as they're looking around, trying to find what this last target is. They almost had him too. That's the sad
they
part.
did. Yeah. I think the best thing, if you're a solo player and you're left and you're alone at the last thing, throw out all your loot and just stand on top of your loot teabagging, and it lets the people know that you just want to punch on. And then and then if they've got any honor, they'll drop their loot too, and you'll have a little punch fight towards the end, and like you'll die, but it'll be fun, like bit of camaraderie.
He's really looking at all patients down into that gap between the or the prefab and the wall there.
There's a few little spots where I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have looked there. Like people.
No, I wouldn't have looked there either. It's good to know that exists. For future reference. But yeah, they're really kind of searching high and low for this guy, or perhaps group of guys / girls.
Still, it could be a group of people. 3 stacks still. You would kind of hope it's not a 3 stack, but as well, they might be new players. Like this might be one of their first times they've got to the end zone, and they're all just kind of like, "Oh my god, this is it. This could be the win."
I wouldn't deny that there's been plenty of times where I've done this, right? So, bunker up and wait basically, and see if you can get that initial drop on them. But Aaron's just kind of throwing out bombardment. Oh, okay then. It looks like it just was one person because it's over. They were hiding in that building.
It can be so anticlimactic sometimes. At least they didn't die in the storm, because that's the worst one.
When you die in the storm. It is all over. So Team Caliber, they're picking up a championship. And coming in number 1 with 23 kills. Not bad. And 3,000 damage for Sin. That's a great damage number. That's really good. That is.
Yeah, considering he was using, 2 R99s, I believe it was?
Yeah, I would say something like that. Definitely.
Yeah, because you can see damage numbers like that quite easily when people are sort of hanging back with the longbow, hanging back with the charge rifle and stuff like that. But to see that kind of damage, like, when he's playing up close like that, it's very cool. Which is what
a lot of teams would do, right? And then on that good note for Save Sin and this gentleman, we're going to switch over to OP gold, OHP gold here. And take a look at what they're doing here. But it doesn't look like we've dropped in at a very great
They are
time here.
on the back foot, unfortunately. Yeah, one of them
Yeah.
respawns timed out. The other two are on the
Rip.
so the Pathfinder, the Octane, just struggling here, just running for their lives, just trying to reposition, reset.
The true tragedy here too is that I think that Doctor Demon Eyes, I want to say, is the first person perspective that we're looking at here. So or Dr. Demise, sorry. I don't know why I called him Demon Eyes, but not playing Caustic. That's a bit of a misnomer right there. That's a shame, but this is a little rough. This is not the ideal situation.
No, but this is where heroes are made. This is like, nothing easy has ever made anyone. Swinless now has the opportunity to just like create a legendary play.
Yeah, indeed. And I think in a second we're going to switch over to the multi-Twitch here. Indeed, we are turning over to that for a little bit. So going back to some of our top teams so far on the evening. In the top left corner, you will see Silly Donuts with Blitz 1 there. Top right corner is the Muffin Man, and they are representing Damn You Suck, DYS, for ease of repetition.
Yeah, DYS. Yeah,
yeah, DYS. Boomerang in the bottom left corner with OXZ, and then DeFi in the bottom right. We are coming up soon, I think, on our middle break of the round here, or of the tournament here. I think that's coming at the bottom of the hour, but until then we'll definitely keep an eye on these multi-feeds, see if we can get some good action in until then.
Yeah, and, that Prowler again, just blasting that guy down, that Octane that rushed him. I'd love to see it. I think as well the Prowler's hip fire is you can see him like strafing back and forth like that. The hipfire and the Prowler, I feel like it's probably one of the most accurate hipfire guns. And if you're using it as a Wraith or one of those sort of smaller characters, Lifeline, Watson, even actually Octane, you pump the stim and just start strafing back and forth and ducking and dodging and diving and dipping and dodging, and it's and just hip firing the whole time. It feels like you're almost impossible to hit at times. It's one of the very powerful things about that gun.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, again, I don't know the specific maybe stats for it in terms of its kind of recoil, deviation, and things like that. But I would say probably it does often feel like it has a very good hip fire. I also think when you don't have the select fire receiver on, I do feel like that burst fire control, Vaughn, can feel like it's easier to handle, right? Like
it almost has a way of like kicking up into the head. It's like you aim just at the sort of top of the chest, and it has this sort of kick up on the burst. You'll often clip a couple of headshots in there.
Can't help but feel like maybe that was the idea, right? It reminds me of the old way back in the day of Counter-Strike with the AK-47, where you just kind of aimed at the chest and then let the recoil carry it up. And it worked. It worked. That was what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
But a little bit of action here in the top right. I believe that's DYS there getting involved. They lose their Watson coming out the door into an ambush, though. Didn't clear the corners. So they're kind of going to have to play this a little bit cautiously. The Watson's still alive, not completely out of the fight, but that's a powered up Bloodhound coming in for the charge. And a lot of pressure being put on that last remaining Bangalore there to try and hold this one out. Yeah, to try and hold this one out. Open it up for a second. So
you've always hoped that a guy named Muffin Man's going to come out top,
Yeah. Muffin Man did not, hate to spoil it for you, but Muffin Man did not survive. So that's unfortunate.
Poor Muffin Man.
Poor Muffin Man.
You can see Defy look like they're in a good position. Purple shields, gold shields, a few kills on the board.
Do.
Oh, pushing up onto that high tower though. Yeah.
Hello.
This spot here is so hard to get people off, and with the longbow as well. Oh, you can see the lifeline come up. Instantly regrets that. Realizes there's two people here.
Yeah, no, the interesting kind of positioning that little tower. I don't really know what to call it, but that little thing drill.
I think it's called a charge rifle tower.
Charge rifle tower. Yeah, that's fair.
I swear, every time it's like a 3-stack with charge rifles, and you've got to push across that open ground. It's a very powerful position to be in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would love to have a. I would love to have a end circles map for just this kind of kill race formats. See how many times it ends up in that particular little fight there around that pillar. But yeah, they do get sent back to one or two of our teams maybe on the way back to the lobby. One of them already there. Silly Donuts looking a little bit dangerous here.
Poor guy with the Mozambique. Yeah, got a feel for him, don't you? We've all been there. Yeah. Fighting a guy with an R99 and you've just got a Mozambique, you might as well throw marshmallows at him,
It's true, yeah. If you're down to basic language at that point, right, to try and secure those kills. But I mean, Switch Dragon, Karakade, Silly, these are all very good players. Like, we've seen them do spectacularly in our previous tournaments. I think it was in our previous kill race a couple of weeks ago when we were doing, was it duos? Karakate and I think it was Silly Donuts were spectacular. So they're not even with that, like in a rough start there in that top left. Blitz is nowhere, no way, shape, or form are they not gonna do well,
And that's where even as a spectator, I get frustrated on the behalf of the teams, because as soon as these guys get loot, even it doesn't have to be the best loot, it's just got to be not a Mozambique basically, and they shred, they just are non-stop. And if they get like gold shields and stuff like that, they're it's got to be like a few teams to take them out. Like they're not going to go down easy. And you feel frustrated for them. It's like, oh, they just got a Mozambique and white shields and just got Peacekeeping in the face, and not much they can do.
Yeah, I mean, when you watch the fourth or fifth party roll in, sometimes it's just, you only have so many bullets in the gun. A little bit of exactly action here from Luma Rain down on OXZ, which is kind of fun. Not gonna ride it though. I think they're just gonna loot it and hop off. Still waiting for my epic side of CGL broadcasted. I don't know what train race fight. Gonna look forward.
Yeah, give us an end circle that it literally ends
on the train.
It follows around. Yeah, at that time it has to play like old Western music too.
Yeah. Oh no! I think he just in the bottom left corner. I think he might have just stuck his own Pathfinder in the back with an arc star. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
He did. Yeah.
Don't think he got away with that one because we saw it.
Yeah, that could be another strap. Kamikaze.
Wasn't my arc star.
Load your Pathfinder up with arc stars and get him to grapple in and just explode on the guy.
Right. There's a championship down there in the bottom right corner for Defy. I mean, you did say a little while ago, right, that they were in a pretty good position to get the win, Vaughn, and it looks like they did. 22 kills and a first place finish, but
good stuff.
That 909 damage from Zaylon, though, that's a little low probably for what they'd be looking for at this stage of the tournament.
It'd be interesting to see what kind of loot he was dealing with and stuff like that.
We are going to be entering into our grace period here, I think, for just a short break in the next 2 minutes or so. So we will probably hop off. I think Muffin Man probably taking full advantage of that. You can see his stream has already gone down up there. But yeah, we'll be taking a quick break here, give these guys some time to go through. We're still focused on our last sort of match going on here, which is Luma and company fighting it out. OXZ still in this with 9 squads left. They will, use the self-revive there to get Luma back in on the action. But oh no, it's been spotted. Oh no, squad eliminated.
Unfortunate.
Tragic. So close. Oh, Lumi, it's okay. It was well intentioned. Finishing number 9. Unfortunately, didn't pick up any kills, but hey, it's all right. Can't win them all.
Exactly. That is the nature of the RNG.
That is the nature of the RNG. That's right. Nearly got this off there. Great, but hey. So I think we are going to just transition again into a really quick break here. We'll come back probably with maybe some of our leaderboards so we can get an idea of where we're standing in the tournament so far today. Don't go anywhere, though. Still plenty left in this CGL kill race here. We've got all sorts of interesting stuff coming up. Another hour and a half of gameplay. Thank you very much to Harsh Reality for hosting or helping us host this. I've been Corbeck, joined by Vaughn with Solid in production.
Hello.
And we'll be right back after this break.
We'll be back. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back here to the CGL Apex Legends Kill Race Tournament in cooperation with Harsh Reality GG, and we thank them again very much for helping us put this tournament on for all of you. I'm Corbeck, joined here in the casting booth by Vaughn, all the way from Australia, and we have Sultan handling our production. And Vaughn, we've seen some pretty entertaining games so far, some really good gameplay coming into the break as these teams get set and ready to go again.
Yeah, it has been solid. We've been seeing pretty much constant 20 plus kill games in the high 20s as well, and very, very consistent, which is it's pretty amazing considering the RNG in this game and stuff like that. If these teams able to consistently get wins, I think we saw who was it? Ortho gets 3 wins back to back, which was insane. A lot of those with 27 kill games and stuff like that as well. So yeah, Indeed. These guys are on the warpath. On the warpath. I feel sorry for anyone playing Apex Legends at the moment.
Indeed. Well, they've got
get caught, gets caught in the crossfire, you know.
We've got our leaderboard here for you to look at. You know, as you can see, those of you who are watching at home, just so you understand, some of the teams that have already placed, those with the higher numbers there of total games completed, are EU teams. They have already gone already today. This is, you know, a shifting list. Things are being added and calculated. And of course, like all our previous tournaments, or kill race tournaments, the final scores will not be ready at the end of the 3-hour time period of the kill race. They will actually be announced a little bit later this evening or this morning, depending on where you live. So stay tuned for that.
Send it off to NASA.
Yeah, send it off to NASA. We've got scientists and whiteboards. One of those computers that takes up an entire room. But currently...
Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting, Guardian Clan and BDG Black and Blitz are kind of in a little bit of a race right now at the top. But don't sleep on like OP Gaming, Team Backpack, Solidified Alpha. They're all kind of in the hunt, and there's still a lot of gameplay to go. And if you look at those point totals there on the graphic that we have displayed, there's really not a ton of difference between a lot of these teams. The difference between Black and Blitz is the most significant difference. But between Guardian Clan and BDG Black, like a matter of a few points. So still plenty of... Still plenty to watch for here. Yeah, exactly, in our last half hour as we just kind of rotate back over to our multi-Twitch. For those of you who were watching before the break, it is the same teams that we had, but just as a reminder, in the top left corner, we have Blitz 1 with Silly Donut in the lead, currently, I think, 10th overall. Next to them on the top right is DYS, Damn You Suck. Bottom left corner, OXZ, and then bottom right corner is Defy Gaming. And Defy Gaming already got 1% timed out there, which is a bit rough. And they just dropped another one. But hey, you know what? Maybe they'll keep going. All these guys, though, really good teams, and all of them, as you saw maybe on that leaderboard, you glanced some of their names, they're all up there in terms of their performance today.
Yeah, that's it. There's no bad players in here. There's people that get unlucky with RNG.
There is, yeah, that's for sure.
See, damn, you suck with the Havoc. I haven't seen much of the Havoc, which honestly kind of surprises me because you get that thing wound up and it can take on anything. The Havoc or the Devotion, if you've only got white shields and you're coming up against someone with purple shields, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, Silly Donuts really actually does a spectacular job of controlling the recoil off the Havoc as well.
Yeah.
You saw a really excellent demonstration of that right there. And he's being kind of a horrible human being right now. He's basically just messing with this Gibraltar, just swooped in, killed both the teammates and then came back for him. And that's just
playing with his food.
That's just evil. Like, actually, though, we say that, but right, there's a strategy to that, right? Like, there's a reason that he's doing that, and it's not because he wants to be cruel and kill the 2 teammates first, right, Vaughn? He's trying to get the Gibraltar into a worse position, essentially. I think to get him to drop that shield.
Yeah, bait him out. Well,
still very
on the train
play.
Yeah, I'm liking the new strategies that are developing with Gibraltar. Obviously, we saw at the start of the game, you know, he wasn't a hugely popular character, but now we're kind of seeing him at higher levels, and it's kind of it's cool to see how people are using it. You know, that little shield dance, and it's always kind of fun.
Yeah.
And I imagine that'll
Yeah.
just keep happening. You know, the more people use him, the more we're going to see.
Yeah, it's
It'll
easy for us to kind of forget, but I mean, Apex Legends still a pretty new game, right? Like
Yeah,
in the greater context of video games, Apex Legend is not that old, like some maybe more established esports shooters, right? And there's still a lot to learn, a lot to change, and of course the new map too has added whole different types of kinks. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, Vaughn, but for me, this new map feels really different from the previous one.
It does feel a map that's I think it's more suited to ranked play. I feel like I don't get third party quite as much, but I don't like it more than Kings Canyon, but I don't like Kings Canyon more than it. You know, I like it separately for what they bring to the table, and I think being able to play on both would be awesome. I like Kings Canyon because it's faster, it's a little bit more aggressive, but the third partying is crazy. Like you can hear every single gun battle in Kings Canyon. You know. So it's really nice to get onto this like World's Edge, and it's sort of a bit more open. I'm not sure if it's tactical, but there's a bit more verticality to it, like a bit more. There's a lot of chances to outplay people, especially in places like Capital City, where you can get some really cool clips on those zip lines and stuff like that, and some interesting mechanics get added into the game because those zip lines are a little bit more prevalent now, especially in Capital City. So,
definitely.
I like what they both bring to the table. You know, I couldn't pick one. If I had to play on one, it'd be very hard to pick.
Yeah, you're not a Kings Canyon purist.
No, not at all. Yeah.
Neither am I, to be fair. And I mean, I think it was.
I miss it still, but
I think it was a well-intentioned release. It came at a good time to try and keep the game, from getting stale. But the difference is, I think there is a lot. It feels like there's a lot more kind of immediate verticality on this map, right? Like on Kings Canyon, you had the canyon, right? So you had the kind of cliffs and the ups and downs, whereas on World's Edge, a lot of the verticality is artificial. You have like the big buildings, you have a lot of buildings, and it's a bigger map, and you have a lot of buildings, and it does, I think, force teams into a lot more kind of tactical sort of siege style situations, and we've seen that demonstrated by some of our teams we've been watching tonight. And playing in and around these buildings has become much more important. I'm watching like Blitz running in and out of this train station, like as they play around Capital, which has been one of our favorite drop zones. And it's hard to imagine a similar place on Kings Canyon, except maybe, I guess, Skulltown, but it did not have the verticality.
Yeah, not the same sort of levels and stuff like that. And even you see guys like Asu and Dizzy and stuff when they get in on those like the zip lines going up to the top of the buildings in Capital, and what they are able to do with that, it's that sort of movement and stuff. It's so cool. It does add a lot of positive aspects to the game, I definitely think.
Yeah, no, it certainly does. And in the top right corner, we just saw an excellent display there by DYS. Really just good, solid finish on multiple people to wipe a squad. So they're kind of, I think he's sitting at about 6 or 8 kills. I can't remember exactly which. That's the Muffin Man right there, closing in with 5 squads left, trying to finish strong in that match. It is 8 kills, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Well, putting that havoc to use.
Yeah, he is putting that havoc to use, and he's got the R99 as well, right? So 2 very fast firing guns. Actually, we were, chucking damage on range, but
So committed to the close quarters combat loadout, which I
committed to the RPM. That RPM life. They've got another target here in mind. But they're closing in on him and trying to get him, and they've done really well here. And we see the RPM in action, actually, right there with that havoc, and then the R99.
Oh, the double hit there. That was a nice little double kill, actually. That sort of.
Yeah. Looking at taking a look right here at Blitz as well, because they're up in this kind of capital situation where they've got that high ground. Taking a look, getting a good idea of what's around them here as they rotate towards one of the other buildings off of construction site. I guess to the slightly higher construction site they go. But they've been doing quite well as well. They executed a really great ambush actually on that team that was on top of this building so they could secure it. But now they're looks like they're split a little bit on where they want to go. Actually, I don't know. I saw that two different pigs.
Yeah. Oh, wait. And see, that's what can happen sometimes. Like, okay, we'll go here, but then you hear that distant gunshot, like, well, turn around to the gunshot.
Gunshots.
Yeah.
This format, you know, because you got to get in there and kill whoever you can. As they're closing in with 6 squads left in their game. But I know our producer's gonna hate me for this, but I want to take a look at Muffin Man again.
I was gonna say, they're coming down the farm squads.
He's got 13 kills for what it's worth in his setup, and he's got 2 squads left in their game. So they're gonna try and finish up here. Really strong gold shields, purple shields.
They have got this. Yeah, it would have to be something pretty drastic for them to take this win. And again, like, there it is. You get to this point, you've got 13 kills, you are so confident, you're warmed up, your aim is obviously on, you're not stopping. Just that momentum carries,
Especially not with all the fancy power-ups. Right? Like, I'm interested to see how many kills they racked up in that game. 20. Wow, that's actually less.
I would have expected more, but
and some low damage, low damage numbers too. All things considered, I mean, great individual performance by Muffin Man there, though. 14 elims and 1,800 damage or something like that. So really good. But
I suppose that kind of damage, it indicates like they started fighting and that was it. They started and they finished it pretty quickly. They wiped through their squads pretty fast. So there was a chance for the squad to back up and heal or anything like that. It was just the Havoc and an R99 rammed down the throat.
There was no extended engagements in that particular setup. And you can see in the left corner there, Blitz 1 have kind of pinned a team behind them in the ring. And I think they might have finished them off, though I'm not entirely sure. No, they haven't. They're still in this kind of running gun battle they've been at for a while here, Vaughn. Really taking full advantage of this ring, and now you can see them taking pot shots at that other team and the charge rifle answering them back, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
No.
You hate to be that team that's stuck outside.
Yeah, it's always annoying, isn't it? Yeah, and then you've got the team being the gatekeeper on the circuit. Like, it's a tough position to be in.
Whoa, look at this. They're going to go in. 3rd stage ring, and they're taking the fight to them. Wow.
Wow, yeah. I suppose, first circle, they've probably got plenty here.
Oh no, they're 3rd circle.
Yeah.
That's ambitious. 2 squads left. That's bold play from Blitz, to be honest.
I wonder if actually sorry, that is a very late circle. So yeah, that's probably not wanting the Storm to take the kills.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it was, to be honest. They know what format they're in. And it's actually a great example, right, of players perhaps playing differently in a kill race format than they would in any other format. If this was a survival match, you're not going to go charge it into the storm to finish those guys off, right? And pretty much they're going to be dead. But
up on that tower already with a charge rifle or something like that, you know, set up with a Watson or something like that. Yeah.
You got to appreciate the sheer confidence of that play, living up to the name, blitzing in there and taking them out, and all 3 of them with gold shields, which is just about as terrifying as you can get.
Yeah, you put the other team will put a bit of damage in and just see all go like, ugh.
Exactly.
Oh well. GG's.
Here they come. Yeah, charging right in the gate with the Mirage. He doesn't see him. Oh, the poor Pathfinder got there maybe just a half a second late.
Beautiful. What a great play.
Yeah, it was great play. You're totally right, Vaughn. That was spectacular. And they've got this lifeline, and there's a championship, and they earned that one, I would say.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like to see the Mirage. Like, I've got some good friends at Mirage, and he's a clever character, actually. Like, he can do some.
He is.
I don't think he's meta, but I think if used correctly, he can be pretty cool. I'm not sure how much it would work against really good players, really experienced players. Like if these guys were all versing each other, I'm not sure how much a Mirage Bamboozle is going to work. But in a pub setting,
yeah, that was unfortunate for that particular Pathfinder. He just got there like half a second too late. If he had rolled around that corner like a split second beforehand, he would have seen him go invisible and maybe would have had a better chance. But as it
Yeah.
was, yeah, that's
He would have been
just
like, I heard the zip line. I'm sure I heard the zip
yeah,
line.
that's exactly
Like,
what he was thinking, and you could tell it too. He was, yeah, I heard the zip line.
yeah.
We're not going to talk about how Muffin Man and his squad just got absolutely destroyed there at number 18. They still got 4 kills though before they got whacked.
Yeah, that's that third party coming out of nowhere and
Yeah,
destroying
yeah.
Muffin Man.
Great shot from
Let
whoever
the man
killed him,
loot.
though. To be fair, that was
Yeah.
nailed it.
Do you think that was one of those shots where they're like halfway across the map with a wingman? They're like, oh wow, that hit.
Yeah, I can't
and they're
believe
dead.
that
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
wasn't even
I
aiming
love
at him.
those shots. Yeah.
Thanks again for another 100 bits, Swift. Much appreciated as always. Appreciate
Swift,
all the
yeah.
donations, all the subscriptions, of course. Thank you, and we thank you for joining us here as you watch this Apex Kill Race tournament in partnership with Harsh Reality GG. So some great Apex action for you as we take a look at our squads that we have up right now. Kind of a little bit of a reset for some of them. Top left corner Blitz getting back in. Top right corner DYS had a bit of a rough start. Bottom left for OXE as well was a little bit rough, but hey, they're all back into the mix almost right away.
That's it. Just brush it off.
And I think we're going to make a quick swap here over to Dr. Demise on the mixer to give us a little look at what's going on over there for one of our other good teams here. I believe Demise is OP Gold. Oh, we might have lost it before we even began. That's unfortunate.
Technical difficulties.
The internet, ladies and gentlemen, starts again.
That's it.
Oh no, we're good. We're back in. So Dr. Demise is here, or at least I can see it. Give the radio broadcast format, as it were. But Dr. Demise here in Capital City with his teammates, all purple shields. 2 squads left. There's a suspicious care package that's been dropped in. But they're gonna try and hunt that down as we get a good look of them up on the high ground there. I don't think they can quite figure out where their opponents are. He's got an axe though.
He does have an axe. That could be like that in Capital City. Trying to like you can hear stats below you, but there's like 5 layers below you. So yeah, which one?
He's got an axe. He knows, presumably, Bloodhound knows how to use it. So
You would think so, yeah.
Here's the Beast of the Hunt activated. So a great opportunity. And it looks like they know where it is. It's a location that we've talked about previously up there on top of the tower. And I think I did see maybe a charge rifle shot coming up from out there. So they're living up to expectations.
Charge rifle tower. This one.
Oh, look at this. Just closure, though. I mean, this is just savage display from the folks here at OP Gold. They're just closing in. Demise with that ability to see everything drops a little sonar ping, and that's actually how they catch out this Bangalore running into the smoke, but it's not going to work because Demise can see everything.
Yeah, instantly counters.
Yep, sights were up.
The smoke kind of works against them at that point. Honestly,
it does. Yeah, you can't see out of it, right? So you're kind of stuck
exactly. Yeah,
nothing you can really. Just to be fair, that's pretty rough for the Bangalore. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? You drop the smoke.
Exactly.
But great game from them. First place, 22 kills. Excellent performance by I Not Snow.
We're seeing the 20 is constant. Nearly every team, if they win, it's a 20 plus kills. So
yeah, it really is. And I mean, these are all Apex teams on the console scene, and there are many teams entered in the tournament. It's worth pointing out. I think we have something like 90 to 100 teams in this particular 3-hour kill race.
What a turnout. That's awesome.
Yeah, so a lot of teams playing today, vying for those top slots. Of course, that does include our EU teams, many of whom all of whom I should say have already played earlier today. So this is all NA teams on stream right now, and we can see a number of these teams getting back in here on the multi-Twitch. Kind of couple of midpoint games here for these guys, kind of Blitz, DYS, Defy, all kind of hanging out in the middle ground. Looks like we might be seeing a little bit of stream trouble there from OXZ down in that bottom left corner. So hopefully bring that in line. Yeah. That Pathfinder just staring really intently at something. I don't know why. At least,
You've
at
got to
least
love
on my-
technical difficulty in a kill racing. That poor guy, he'll be
I know, very
box
unfortunate.
sticking, and you. Come on, internet.
Yeah, come on, internet. Exactly how it is. Situation. One of the downsides of not having a LAN, right? Everybody's got to deal with
Yep,
connection somewhere. Oh, it's a nasty
day.
airstrike there for Blitz. As they're like running for the hills, up there on Capitol. Somebody was, I think, trying to clear him off the top of that building, and it did work for a second. They can go right back up there, though. To be fair.
Yeah, that's. Like momentary, see, that's where the other team, the enemy team, needed to push and take that high ground at that point and be ready to go. But
I don't know that they did, though. That's the thing, and you
yeah, I
kind
don't
of wonder
think they did.
what the point of the airstrike was, or not the
Yeah.
border drop or whatever it is. Like,
Yep.
why?
Yeah, I think that you can sort of. It's maybe a person who doesn't play Gibraltar lots, not the most experienced, because you want to make use of it. Like it's nice to try and go for a cheeky kill, but the chances of that happening really are quite low.
I mean, yeah, it is a very high damage ultimate, right? Like,
yeah,
it does hit hard, but yeah,
in a place like Capital City, you're always a cover.
That's true.
You've really got to make use of it and push on it. Or use it to create a bit of space so you can heal up and
just run down the stairs.
Yep.
Taking a closer look here at Defy Gaming right now. 5 left. Only one pickup here for Zaylon. But still the team doing pretty well to get through. Good knock there actually on Lizard. We got to do that.
Making use of those anvil rounds.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that too much actually.
No, we haven't. And that anvil rounds on the flatline actually really good. Really makes it a very powerful
45
weapon.
a hit. Yeah, it's funny because I don't really use it much myself, and I don't see many people using it. It could be a kind of a bit of a slept-on sort of meta, I guess, or not meta, but slept-on aspect.
Yeah, it's not, I think, the most common usage, particular. No, not the most common usage of that particular matchup, but it's a good, or that particular power up, but it is a good one. I think it's definitely better for the flatline than it is for is it the R99, whatever the other gun that you can get it on. It's definitely better on the flatline. So it kind of turns it into a better G7.
Almost, the 301?
Maybe it's a 301. Yeah, I think it is a 301.
I think it might be the 301, yeah.
And we're going to make a quick swap here, I think, on the multi-Twitch as well, and just get Orthus and BDG Black, so one of our top teams in the tournament so far today. They're in that bottom left corner for you. Unfortunately, OXZ kind of having those problems with their stream, so I'm going to kick over there and get BDG Black in so you can watch some of that action. And they put up some very impressive games so far in today, so it's been fun to watch them at work. But 2 squads here are 2 of our teams on broadcast, Blitz 1 and Defy, both heading into the final sort of conclusion of their matches, bottom left and bottom right, respectively. 6 squads and 5 squads left, respectively. But even as I say that, a lot of action down there for PDG Black Bond. I don't even know what's going on. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I think last time we saw BDG Black was just at the end of a 3-win kill streak, like 3-win streak. So these guys have been dominating, and I think we're seeing the same again. Just elimination after elimination. That R99 just blasting out, and very similar. Lifeline coming in clutch, picking up his last 2 teammates. Ortho has been having a phenomenal day. Actually, like we've seen him do that multiple times today. And obviously, the people that he is playing with are really good as well. So the fact that he's sort of holding it down for the whole team, and a fine beard to boot.
Yeah, that was scary for a second there. He popped up over the top of a building face first to somebody else. But 1,000 or that 1080 rounds per minute coming in clutch there, that particular situation. Basically Winston, or was it Winston? I said Watson probably just had enough time to blink there before they got shredded on that one. But he's been doing great work on that lifeline. Pretty much all that we've seen of them. Really likes running around with his drumsticks too, so you'll get plenty of opportunity to just see that. bit of a rough situation there on the bottom right corner for Defy, but it does look like they're going to get an opportunity to get the self-revive in, and a little bit of costume clipping there as well for those of you who want to ping them about their about their glitches.
Yeah. What's this cool black skin?
Yeah, the cat suit skin right
yeah,
there.
That's
just
it,
urban commando, but that's pretty interesting. We'll pretend we didn't see that.
Yeah.
Thank you very
we
much.
All know. Unfortunately, Apex isn't perfect yet.
But, yeah. Is any game though realistically?
Yeah, that's it.
Nobody's
I always liken it to a song. It's like all the instruments are recorded and everything sounds really good. We've just got to like get the mix just slightly tweaked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
it's like the cymbals are a little bit too high and it's hard to hear the drums or something. It's hard to hear the guitar. Like, you know, it's really like that.
I love the little like souped up flat line here that they have down in that bottom right corner with that ACOG. And the hammer fire
anvil,
that stuff. Like, extended mag is great setup for a flatline, to be honest. Like I said, basically making yourself a better G7.
Exactly that. Yeah, he's just made himself like it's like he's got a G7 and he's got a wingman and he's kind of like made them dirty and he's popped out this little flatline and
that's what you get with a nice ACOG stinger right there on top. But they're trying to close down on the end of their match right there, going for this care package, I think. But taking a look at some of the other teams that we've still got going here, top 4 squads left over there for Blitz 1, and they've got somebody in their sights that they're closing in on right now, trying to finish them off. Meanwhile, in the top right corner, 4 kills already for DYS, the Muffin Man, putting in a pretty solid performance. I think they had a couple of disappointing games right there, Vaughn, so they're trying to work their way back in.
Yeah, we saw like as well, it was a bit of a roller coaster because Muffin Man was having some amazing games, and then I think got to be unlucky on the RNG, and a couple ones sort of kicked their butt. But
yeah,
we were talking about this before. It doesn't seem like it's affected their confidence. They've just brushed it off, and away they go.
Not at all.
It's great to see actually because
wingman from way out.
It's still hitting as well. It's a satisfying gun, the wingman. I don't think you pick it up because it's the best gun in the world, but you pick it up because it's a fun gun and it's effective, but it's high risk, high reward. And it's I think Respawn, just coming from playing all the Titanfall games and now playing Apex, Respawn know how to make a satisfying gun. I think some of my favorite guns have been made by Respawn with things like the Wingman and the Kraber and stuff like that. They know how to make a gun that's just sort of like, that was cool. that felt good to get that kill,
Yeah, it's very true. And Titanfall, the 2 Titanfall, obviously great fun. I mean, they were really good games. And I would say that for me, the Hemlock was always like a very satisfying burst fire rifle. Like there's just something about it where you're like, yeah, this is great. Like this feels good. I still feel that way about it in Apex as well. Like you're landing your shots, it's working great. And in the top left corner, by the way, Blitz 1, you're seeing the duel of the Gibraltar domes, which is just really something. They literally have 2 Gibraltar domes 10 feet away from each other up there. That top left corner, which is pretty sad. Multiple now. Border strikes coming in and
dance. Like, oh my god,
Lord. Gibby Paradise up there right now as these 2 teams just kind of slammed into each other. That was a brutal firefight, actually, and they do end up emerging victorious in the end. But yeah, that was a no holds barred brawl there. But they're getting
touch and go for a second. Yeah, I'm just sort of watching the end of it now. Yeah, got third party that took out the guy on the rock.
With only 2 squads left, this could be a bit of a rough situation. Play this out.
That Gibraltar and the Pathfinder have got to clutch it out.
Oh no, it's an airstrike coming in. Oh no, it's gonna land right on top of him. Oh my lord. Well, that was scary. Yeah, Jesus. You don't really.
Oh god. Yeah, you
see the marker.
Yeah.
Right on top.
On top.
But you know what? Karakate right there. Boy, that Gibraltar just went out there and decided it was time to get the kills.
I've got his brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a brother. Yeah, he's just cleaned them out. Well played. And another 20 kill finish. Karakata with 13 kills and almost 3,000 damage and well earned. Wow.
And it's this squad as well. Seeing the Gibraltar, seeing the Mirage, it's nice
Yeah,
being played.
it is.
So,
Team off meta, as
yeah,
it were,
yeah.
as we
You
watch
gotta.
DVG
It makes you feel like they're the underdogs, you know. Like you're sort of like, yeah, go
yeah.
off meta, go.
Go off meta, guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
BDG Black here in the top 4 squads with a good 7 kills for Orthrus trying to finish off another team inside here. It's a nasty fight with his Gibraltar, but he wins in the end. Great little bit of gunplay there. Now he's just trying to go in and confirm that kill, which he does, and he'll snag himself some gold shields out of that as well. Well played.
I also, has been on the warpath. Another the G7, I think as well. It's becoming I've seen a lot more people pick up the G7, where even a few months ago that wasn't a viable option.
Yeah, I think for me the problem with the G7, right, and the idea that a lot of advantage is coming from hipfire. Oh no! Oh, that's bad. Oh, Orthros in a very bad situation right now, getting pushed. Basically, got the drop on him. These 3 people here, but his teammates come swooping in from above to try and save him. 2 knocks almost right away, and I think they're gonna try and finish him off. Jazzy, I stay Jazzy off there on the hunt, and he's gonna use a self revive to get himself up. Wow.
Nicely done, the teammates.
Guardian Angels, and they'll take the
chance
on the back of it as well. Wow. Great. You love to see it. That was spectacular. Yeah. I really enjoyed that. That was great. The speed at which his teammates reacted to that and got brought up, and his good job there, just moving around Vaughn so that they couldn't just finish him off.
Alive. Yeah, that's it. And even just him like moving around like that and making them kind of focus, and they're trying to get that kill. They're not thinking about the next person coming down on them. They're not thinking about the teammates. They're just trying to secure that kill, and it worked against them.
Yeah, and Audacity's there getting 14 kills and over 3,000. Great. All around 25 kills total by that squad. Really, really good stuff. As we'll move back over to the multi-Twitch now, so we can get a good look at everybody going into it. But yeah, hard to argue with that performance. That was great. It was a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, textbook almost. You could almost if someone had told me he did that on purpose to bait out the other team, I would believe them.
I would actually. I was just thinking. I wonder, Vaughn, was he did he do that on purpose? I don't think he did.
It would be a risky play.
Yeah,
if someone, I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah,
I think he kind of got caught out, and then it was just a really good reaction by everybody around him. But they
made the best of it. Yeah.
Not entirely impossible, right?
Yeah.
But thank you very much, Skate Action DJ, for your lovely 200 bits donations there. One of our longtime casters and producers. Thank you so much. And I should say a big thank you as well to Sultan, who's been holding down our casting booth for us here for this tournament. And really, all the exciting sort of wipes and transitions and screen jumps and everything like that can all be credited to him. So thank you so much, Sultan. We really appreciate your hard work. He also designs a lot of our overlays. The overlays for this Apex tournament are all courtesy of him as well. So thank you very much. And also take this opportunity to thank our partner for this exercise, Harsh Reality GG. We appreciate you guys jumping in and helping us out, making sure this can put this on and getting some great sort of console Apex play out there for everyone with a little under an hour here, about 50 minutes left in kill race. And of course, thank you to all of our viewers for tuning in and listening to Vaughn and I talk about Apex for 3 hours. I don't know that I would listen to myself talk about Apex for 3 hours. So.
I've muted myself. I'm
I used to work in radio, and one of the things you have to do is you have to go back and listen to yourself, and it's always pretty horrible to have to do that. But I'm watching Blitz 1 engaged in a really nasty firefight up here in the construction site, and it's not looking good for the off-meta boys up there.
Oh, we can see the Battle of the Pathfinders. Unlucky there.
Yeah, it was not great for the off-meta boys. A lot of pressure on Karikate to pull that one. Maybe a little too much pressure.
All down to the Gibby again.
All down to the Gibby again. Yeah, the Rock, as he were, the Rock filter right there. pulling it around. But keeping a good eye on all of our teams. One game kind of at the midpoint there, Defy, but these other three very new starts here. Actually, one of those starts kind of ending a little half-heartedly there for Blitz 1. That's a rough game considering that they had a really good win the map right before that. Still managing to put 4 kills on the board. All right.
Still getting points on the board, so it wasn't time wasted. But saw a pretty nice turnaround there from Iortho too, where he had no loot. One on his back, quickly picks up the Eva, and bam.
And him and his electrified drumsticks. I think they look electrified. I don't know why, but
I don't know why they are, but yeah.
I guess because they're batons. Like it's like a little stun baton thing, but
it gives it that nice crack on the snare, maybe. Zap, it's all about the sound.
Saying, how would you play the drums actually with the electrified drumsticks? But I guess that's a question for another time. Orthus actually will go down here, so a little bit of a rough situation. He'll get knocked out of it completely. You can see a little bit of disappointment there from Orthus, but his teammate, I don't think is that his teammate? No, that's another lifeline, so it can't be. Another team coming in, and it's a squad elimination.
But
for the
there's
BG
more.
Black crew. Yeah. Kind of a fourth or fifth party coming in there to cause a little bit of havoc, but that's okay. They'll go back and reset and drop back in.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time left. That's right.
And those guys have been so consistent. So
they have been, and they still got 4 kills as well, and a goodly amount of damage. I mean, like you said, Vaughn, it's not time wasted, is it?
Yeah, I think as well. I wonder when these teams start out strong. I wonder if the thought sort of occurs to them that okay, we've had wins back to back, and they've all been 20 bombs. Maybe we should go for consistency now, not drop Capital City. Maybe drop somewhere a little bit quieter, secure the win, and we're not going to get as many high kills, but we're going to be able to get consistent. We've already got that sort of big kick. Or do you just sort of risk it still? I wonder if that sort of comes into it, because potentially you can start out great, and then you drop Capital over and over again and get no loot, and you put yourself in a really rough spot. So, and all of a sudden half an hour has been wasted as you just working with nothing.
Yeah, I think I saw the Bright Sparks over there at the one of the Reddits. I think it was the Apex University subreddit. Kind of somebody had mocked up a diagram of what they thought the ideal drop site was for rotations, and I think it was something like a little south of Train. I want to say it was a little south of like Train Yard or something like that. Kind of down, and then you can either rotate up towards Train Yard, drill site, and then round to Capital, or you can rotate down towards Fuel Factory or Fuel Depot. Kind of that's the tree, that sort of stuff over there. But it all ultimately, I think, enables you to rotate back to Capital, which is like the heart of the action. But then again, that's also that's also probably a survival minded rotation, right? And not so
high
much,
kill.
where you want to be to get maximum kills. And
I think I know the place that you mean, because there is a balloon there as well, so you can sort of drop that balloon out to train, go through the little tunnel into Capital, so I can see that working. But like you said, it's maybe a bit of a different mentality, more the scrim sort of mentality.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the scrim mentality in mind, it is a different style of game, and hopefully, when custom lobbies kind of become the actual thing, like that we can take full advantage of. Hopefully, that will happen. We can
fingers crossed.
We can start moving into a format for our Apex tournaments here at the CGL, where we can actually see that in action, and maybe even get like a LAN and some other exciting stuff in there to really, get a setup like that. And I think that's the ultimate
just
goal.
Having other, like a custom match with other spectating options, similar to Overwatch, where you can sort of zoom out and you can see where all the other teams are, zoom back in, and it's can add so much to it, being able to know where the other teams are and who's pushing and who's got what. And I can't wait for it. I assume it's eventually going to happen, but
I think it will, and be an exciting time for the game, and it'll be exciting for Apex as an esport as well. Just taking a look at DeFi right now, kind of up close on them. We've been watching them for a little bit here, and they had a really rough situation, but they kind of pulled it out. They've walked back around to Capital. They have 7 squads left in their current match. We saw DYS in the top right corner. They've had a couple of rough ones, but Defy has been putting in some pretty solid performances. So we'll see if they can turn this one around and come out with a win, as they're again going for that high ground.
Yeah, they've got decent shields and stuff now, so they're definitely in a position to get smart.
Yeah,
Extended magazines on their guns as well, which is another thing that we haven't talked about, but it's quite important. Like if you get an R99, it's great, but if you don't have an extended magazine on it, it's it's very hard to use.
those bullets go quick.
Yeah, that 1080 RPM, you feel it. Yeah, you sort of sneeze. Gone. Yeah.
I mean, as a person who really struggles to control recoil, I feel like it's one of the reasons I haven't used it a lot. But maybe with some of the changes that they seem to have made to it, it'll be a little bit easier to get to get a leg over it and get it maybe a little bit better. But I'm watching an interesting little
part of
gunfight.
The muzzle flash as well on it is pretty crazy. I think that goes into it a bit too, where you're kind of blinded if you don't have a good HCOG on it.
Yeah, that's true. It's very true as well. It's a high risk, high reward gun, and I think the fact that it's common now is probably a testament to just players getting more used to the game and getting more skilled. Apex has been, it's easy to forget, right? It's not even a year old.
Yeah, it's crazy because it doesn't.
February.
It feels like it's always been here.
Yeah, February 4th. Yeah, I think was somewhere around there. Maybe February, like the week before or after that. But yeah, February was the release date for Apex, and yeah, that's not a lot of time.
Yes, no, not at all. Yeah,
less than 10 months ish.
Yeah, if you compared it to Fortnite, I think Fortnite at this point was having some really serious issues. Like I think for me in Australia with my internet, it was actually unplayable. Like I would just glitch around the map and stuff like that. So
yeah, I feel you. The clipping.
Still a lot to come.
The clipping.
Oh yeah, that's just so common on Australia.
Yeah,
I see some guy glitching around. You're just like, oh man, yeah.
I don't know who it's more annoying for. At the end of the day, is it more annoying for you as the player, or the person who sees like friggin' Nightcrawler at him from across the street and teleporting?
Yeah, I think it's just equally annoying. Yeah. I was behind the wall when I got shot. Well, on my screen.
No. She's behind me somehow. I just
yeah.
But
and getting the audio to work at that point too is just like
I bet.
Yeah.
Now, so I've got a weather eye here, bottom right corner, which is Defy, because they've got 4 squads left in kind of what's been a slow game, though, to be honest. A lot of these teams have kind of already crashed and burned, but they've been in this match for what feels like a really long time. I don't know.
Yeah, one of those unfortunate matches where it's got a weird rotation and people sort of aren't where you expect them. And that's, that just happens sometimes.
It does.
You drop the hot zone or something like that. You're like, where is everybody? Coming into another team now, though. Oh, I'm not.
Yeah, it's not particularly great. A bit of a dangerous situation. But the teammates are there. They're not just going to let him go down.
It's an interesting place to fight, too. There's not a heap of room for like maneuverability and stuff here. They're kind of stuck behind these crates and these pillboxes.
It's a weird rotation from the opposing team. It's another one down. That's not really good. It's kind of I was going to say it's a bit of a rotation from fighting to rotate kind of back towards the ring, but now Defy Res has actually, I think, is going to drop this portal so that they can get some clearance here and maybe go in for the resurrection. Unfortunately, Blitz, they were doing really well in their game in that top left corner, but they just got finished off there. So the off meta boys getting bit by that off meta comp.
Yeah, having a bit of a rough time. They've had some pretty good matches though, so they've definitely put some points on the board.
Yeah, sometimes you get the meta, sometimes the meta gets used. But man, Defy still in this running gun battle. This game just never ending, and if they come out of this with a 3rd place finish, this is going to be really rough for them, and it's looking increasingly like that might be what happens. I think
they really need that second team to come in, don't they?
They did, but you as you say
not from that side.
Not from that side.
Angle. Any other angle but that. Oh my god!
No.
Well done, mate. That was a bit unfortunate, that one. There wasn't much you could do there.
That's absolutely tragic. It was so funny. You said, "Oh, they just need that other come in, and then I just saw the gunshot go right by him and take out. I think it was Rez who was trying to self-resurrect. I was like, oh, they're here.
Unfortunate time. Not from that angle. Where was that team coming
that
from
direction.
as well? You know, like,
where were they coming from? Because the ring was kind of that way, and it's crazy. You feel kind of bad for them. That was a long game to come out of that with only 9 kills.
Yeah, that's a weird. Yeah, that team coming from that place, it just happens sometimes, don't you? Like, because you sort of like these guys, especially, they would have those rotations. No, they know where these teams are dropping. They know where teams should be coming from, and then you just get that sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, like the black sheep, that weird anomaly in the data.
Yeah, definitely. I think when they backed up into that tunnel, I think they thought that they were here, or they wouldn't have put themselves in that kind of situation where they could be squeezed. So definitely a sort of fly in the ointment for them right there. And you're watching it right now. I think Orthrus and company there on BDG Black trying to get out of a rather desperate straits inside the ring, but luckily enough, only ring 2, so not enough damage where it was gonna absolutely destroy them. So they'll be able to get the reset in here. I think they're aiming for that respawn beacon to get Jazzy back in the fight. And again, the drumsticks are out.
If I had that ornament, I'd have that out all the time.
Yeah. No, I can't blame them. They're pretty cool, actually. I love the fact that they're little electrified batons. I always wondered, like, she does the finish, hits him with the drumstick. And I was always kind of like, that takes me out. Like, now I understand why.
If you hit someone with a drumstick, it doesn't feel like there's much weight.
It hurts, but it's not knocked out a giant Samoan man. But
that's it. It's more like a paper cut. You're like, I felt
stop that.
That's annoying.
Who does that? But how they're in a gunfight right now, and they've done a really good job of taking that Wraith portal, and I love the positioning that they chose there for it, just slightly down that ramp so that they were below eye level, really giving them a lot of opportunities, to play that angle. But even as I say that, they'll drop a teammate, and Orthrus maybe making a little bit of a mistake there. He wanted to go revive his Wraith, but he kind of got caught in the open. Luckily, they have Jazzy, who's back now, going in for that res. It's not enough to save the Wraith, though, so they will have to play the replay weekend, and they've kind of sacrificed their good positioning here and have put themselves in a bit of a dangerous spot where they're getting shot from multiple angles. Orthrus, though, he's going to turn it around.
I was going to say he's making use of that hemlock we were saying before. Hey, like he's putting it to work, and now the R99 as well, just blasting these guys down. And I love seeing this from players of this caliber, where if that was me, I'd be dead already. And they're just through superior aim, and they just managed to come through this kind of stuff.
That was some great play. Like, wow, well done. I mean, just so perfect. The calm too. I mean, you see his face there. He wasn't flustered at all. Even when he was getting shot from multiple directions, he just he played that almost to perfection. That was just really well done. And the accuracy when he whipped out the headlock.
A lot of headshots in there.
Yeah, just great. And 3 squads left in that game. Oh no, Jazzy goes down. Now this is a bad situation. He's got 2 on him.
Oh, Jazzy.
Orthrus there, despite playing so well up until that point, that was just a little bit of a rough situation. They kind of ran into that other team, I think, before they were fully ready.
I think as well that, catching Jazzy there, like, off by himself, just a little bit unfortunate that they're all kind of separated.
Yeah, it was a bit of bad luck. They already had 1 team member down. Third place
finish. By a person called Fix Your Damn Xbox.
That's good. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do if they release the next one and it's like Project Scarlet? You won't be able to get those like funky names in there anymore.
No,
Fix Your Project Scarlet just doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, not much,
doesn't sound quite as good. But hey, we're looking at DYS now, a little bit closer on them, and they're pushing through this tunnel, and they're doing a pretty good job. Muffin Man there with a nice brutal point-blank kill on the Gibraltar. At that range with the R99, it's you just aim. You don't even really have to aim. Just pull the trigger. Against that particular target,
just look in that general direction, and hold the trigger.
Yeah, they worked. That's exactly what they did, and they're gonna continue back into the capital city construction site. But now that's bad news. He kind of saw just a half a second too late what was going on there. His teammate, or no, it wasn't his teammate. There's a Pathfinder who come up there. I think was thinking about finishing him off.
Ooh.
Wait, I don't even know what's going on. Do they have a Pathfinder on their team? I'm a little confused.
No.
I'm not sure who that Pathfinder is.
We have a random Pathfinder. He's lost.
Was it a Pathfinder or was it the weird robot skin of Watson? I think it was actually creepy robot
Maybe
skin.
it's the robot skin of
now
Watson.
I see that. Yeah, ganked Wendigo right there is Watson.
Yeah.
So has come back in.
I do like the idea of a rogue Pathfinder just lost.
Yeah, I was like, what is this guy doing? Like, but whatever. Unfortunately, Gank Wendigo was not able to save his teammate there, but they do have the respawn banner, so they can take it back and get it in. But Defy now fighting over here, trying to get in and get it on, see if they can get somebody out here. This is a weird fight though. There's this smoke and
all the weird sort of angles that the ice.
The ice, yeah.
There.
Well, they won, I think. I'm still trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I think Artery pulled it out there at the end. I'm still trying.
It wasn't
exactly
pretty, but they still won.
Yeah, that smoke screen almost looked electrified. I know it wasn't, but it was weird.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the old what was it? What was it called? Like the anti-personnel stuff when you were in a Titan in Titanfall 2, where you like pop that electric smoke. Yeah, that's what I thought of for a second there. I was like, oh god, like I didn't know that was big. Could you imagine if Bangalore dropped electrified smoke? Good god,
that would be brutal.
That would be brutal.
Yeah, Caustic would just have to go, like, no point Caustic anymore. You can just sit out, buddy.
Yeah, we got it. Thanks, Chief.
Yeah.
I do actually love smoke grenades on Bangalore. It's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite tack item in the whole game. I love shooting them at places where my enemies are trying to shoot at me from. You just drop smoke on top of them.
I think it's and you can bamboozle people with the smoke too. You sort of 100%. Hide behind a rock, pop smoke, and then you pop smoke up the hill. Like you run up there, and guarantee they'll run up through that smoke, and you just sort of sit there. And I think I like the smoke too because it's easily countered as well. Like it's a fun mechanic, it's not overpowered, but it can be used in a really smart way. Like where I feel Caustic sometimes can be a little bit harder to counter. You've really got to hit those barrels, and you get blinded, and you get damaged, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I think it's rewarding, but it's not overpowered. And you're very much welcome, Ultima. Glad you enjoyed your experience in the tournament today. CGL is going to have a lot more Apex tournaments coming up. I don't know if we're going to get one in again before the end of the year, but we will probably be having maybe a league structure coming up in the future. I know that's been talked about. So hopefully, plenty of more exciting Apex action coming down the pipe for you guys, because we love this game, and we know that there's a lot of people out there who love it too. So it's great to put it on. And get it out. Unfortunately, a bit of a rough ending there for DYS, number 3 with 16 kills. But 16 kills is not bad. But
16 kills is not bad. Yeah, in any normal situation, you're like, nice, third and 16 kills. But we've been seeing first and over 20s constantly. So it's a high standard of play that's being set.
In the kill race format, maybe you'd want it to be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Working
with what they've got. They pushed hard and they pushed the gunshots. It's not like they were hiding or anything like that.
That's true. That is very true. Taking a look at our leaderboard just to get an idea of where some of these teams are. I think, and I'm not entirely sure, Primal Esports Beta has done very... Oh, no. Ignore that. I'm not sure what they've done, actually, because I think their stat line's being updated, so it's not entirely accurate right now. BDG Black, I think, is one of our best teams here, Solidified Alpha. So the guys down in the bottom left corner, that's BDG Black. We've been following them. Team Caliber in the hunt, Blitz there as well. So a lot of these teams doing really, really good. Coming in, trying to beat out these Euro teams. And honestly, BGG Black, they're very close. They're a couple 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes and they'll probably be there. If we're being
Yeah.
honest, they're well on their way. So it's good that we have them here. But yeah, Blitz One, our other team that we have on the thing here, they're the multi-twitch. They're doing very well as well. All these teams actually kind of in the hunt right now for top billing. BDG Black, obviously the closest, as it were, but and not far behind them though. Blitz
Yeah,
One.
it's not far behind. It's just it is honestly like a few good games, and then it could shift. You know, like.
Yeah, it really is not a big difference between them all. And keep in mind, too, I think these kind of reporting at different times. So certain teams might be slightly ahead of others and stuff in terms of even when their reports are getting entered. So we're trying our best to kind of keep track of everyone. But Blitz, they're down to 10 squads in their game, 4 kills already for Silly Donuts. They're the off-meta boys, for what it's worth. And then in the bottom left corner, BDG Black in a very similar situation, funny enough, with 4 kills left in their 4 kills and 12 squads left in their game.
Looking at the fire, pushing through all the caustic smoke, does not matter. Love to see it actually. Like there's that pure aggression. Like you think you're safe, but no. Pushes right through, another couple of kills, and with the alternator as well, of all things.
Yeah, toxic traps, not really doing their toxicness there.
No.
But even as I say that, funny enough, BDG Black running afoul of a caustic as well. He's out there, he's around, spooky, but yeah, not enough to deter. And I Stay Jazzy, I think, is the one we're looking at right now. Got out of there, but I Stay Jazzy kind of. It's a difficult situation here for BDG Black because 2 of them are down with beacons. I Stay Jazzy still up, and instead of kind of going for the most immediate respawn beacon, Vaughn, he looks like he's taking an engage.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice actually, because as a Pathfinder, he could just easily reposition and get himself out of there, unless his teammates are sort of going, push it. It looks like it might be only that one stick though. So
yeah, I'm not. Oh, no. He's found somebody else here as well. So this is at least 2 other people. Now make it 3 because there's another Pathfinder. Oh, no, there's another team.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Is he going to bail out at this point? No.
Nice.
Nice.
A bit of a gamble. Didn't really pay off in the end. That's a shame. All right.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a strat. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure they had some sort of plan.
The team comms and stuff like that.
Yeah, you kind of do wonder, though, at what point in time do you just take your Pathfinder and just you get out and get everybody back in and fighting?
Just get everybody back in, yeah. Or do you even, do you just sort of go, okay, man, just, if you can get a couple of kills in the next, 2 seconds and just die and we'll reset, you know what I mean? Just get a couple of kills on the board and we'll just reset the whole thing. Yeah.
They're still doing pretty well, so they're going to get right back into it, too.
You can't have every game as a win.
No, you can't. That's true.
It's,
looking at Defy down here in the they're closing down as well. 4 squads left, 6 or 8 kills there for Zaylon one. So they've been doing pretty good, as it were. It's 8. 3 squads left in their game, so they're going to try and wrap things up. And they are, of the teams that we have on, they are, I think, the closest to completing this match here.
Yeah, one of the things I am surprised about is we're not seeing heaps of arc stars and thermites being carried, not many throwables, and I honestly kind of we're seeing multiple med kits. I think there was 9 med kits in one of the Defiers guys' backpacks then. And I wonder what the decision is there, because I'm not a huge fan of throwables, but they are so handy. Oh, there we go. There's a star coming out by Damn You Suck, but they are so handy for that kind of just stopping people push you or being able to push into weird areas and stuff like that. We saw a very good arc star earlier today, actually. Got yeeted from downtown, a full Kobe. Hit the guy directly.
Yeah, hit him right on the, hit his target too. I don't know. I'm watching Defy play through this right now, and you would think that maybe in this situation, an arc star or a frag would be kind of helpful, but wow, that was a nice. Just kind of looked up and was like, "Hello." bit of a bold zip line, all things considered. If we're being honest,
especially that guy had no health and send. I don't care. Yeah,
I don't know what the idea was there, but
I think that guy watched Rambo last night. a bit
Yeah.
confused as to.
Battery like is using himself as bait. I don't really like. That was scary.
Yeah.
It didn't
Well,
work.
they-
Whatever it was,
Yeah, whatever it was. He went out a hero though.
he went out a hero.
Yeah.
Hurtling on a zip line to his doom, and this other
Yeah.
team I think is actually kind of closed with them. I'm not. Yeah, I just don't know.
Yeah. Is that the other? Yeah, yeah. I was going to say.
I think it was the. I think it was the other team. I think
Yeah.
Bangalore. I mean, they were kind of in a bad position that squad, so I felt like they maybe didn't have a choice on closing, and they're trying to shut them down right now. But the ring coming in as well is putting a lot of pressure on these teams, and they're just gonna. Yeah, there it is. Boop. Easy championship.
Nicely done. A lot of kills then too.
Yeah, a lot. I think. I wouldn't be surprised. It's got to be over 20, for sure. But taking a moment, we get our little victory screen right there. 27. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. Good game. Good game.
Yeah, good game
XZ
indeed.
stream is working again. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's 27. So well done.
Nicely done.
And then we go back to kind of just getting an idea of where all these teams are now, and it looks like our closest to finishing would be up in that top left corner there. Yeah, good replay of it there. Just popped up on stream. I got to see it again. That was a brilliant shot. I just don't know. I'm still trying to puzzle that one out. I don't know what the plan
Some people
was.
are peacocks. You just gotta let them fly.
Yeah,
But unfortunately,
you just
they're
gotta
not
let
very
them
effective.
fly.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, that's funny. But yeah, there's three squads left, 7 kills up there in that Blitz 1 stream, so they're trying to close this one out as best they can. You know, they're in a pretty good position here. Gold, purple. Karakate on that Gibraltar, still very effective particular player. Has done some good work today.
Yeah, and it's nice to see these guys in a good position like this. They've had a bit of bad RNG, but nice amount of kills. Got 7 kills from Silly Donuts. Good loot. You can almost feel the win coming.
Is that like a caustic trap? I don't. That was odd. Oh! Donut's in a little bit of danger though. He'll roll back behind this boulder and pop the full shield battery there, and they'll drop that airstrike in as well. Well played on top of this team, and because of the way that they positioned themselves going into it, they really had nowhere to go. Because if they had backed up, Switch Dragon I think was there, kind of covering the retreat. Karakate was pushing in from the other side, and then Silly Donuts was down there as well. Whether or not they knew that when they set that up, or it was more just an opportunistic kill by Karakate, whatever it was.
It was
really
all
good.
angles covered, including the sky with an ult. You know, there was
Yeah,
nowhere
it was
to go.
really well done by those three, actually, just kind of closing in on that.
Yeah.
Place Gibraltar ult. Now 2 of them have gold shields with 2 squads left. You like to see that.
Yeah. You can easy win. You can feel it coming, and again, just the momentum. You know, feeling confident.
The problem here, though, is we're getting into a kind of situation, right, where it becomes a bit more of a hunt, because it's still a pretty big-ish area that they have to cover right now. You don't know how many people they're looking for, so yeah, you just gotta hope that somebody comes to them.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where the clock starts ticking, and as a player, you start getting a little bit impatient. Come on. Like, this is our win already. Like, just give it to us. Yeah, that's it.
Maybe if we send one guy on a zip line.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is where you find the highest point on the map, and you just start. Yeah, it's kind of like, standing on top of the cliff going, come at me.
I don't even know who they killed, but they killed him. I don't think he was anywhere near him. Dad, I was focused because up YS there, Muffin Man ran into a lifeline on the zip line that they were on, and they kind of both kicked each other off. And there was just this awkward moment when they both landed where they just stared at each other for a second. Started shooting. Like, oh, I thought I knocked you off, but
that's it. Yeah, hang on. Yeah, we're on.
Truce? Nope. 4 squads left, 5 elims there for Muffin Man. So finally a good game coming through. Boys from DYS. They've kind of had a bit of a rough couple of games, so they're kind of getting back in the saddle.
They
as
have
it
been on a
were.
bit of a roller coaster, haven't they? Like we've
They
seen
have been.
it's either been wins with lots of kills or getting eliminated quite quickly.
Yeah, they've definitely had a rough time. Again, you can see how they've sort of ended their rotation at Capital City, which is kind of unsurprising, perhaps, considering that it does have a lot of high ground for them to play off of. But at the moment, I think they might have spotted another team because it looks like they're closing in on somebody, and sure enough, here comes the push in, and a great execution of tactics right there, because this poor Caustic and the Wraith that was in here as well had no idea that they were coming like that. Oh no! Oh, he's getting shot at from distance. Oh, Orthrus, run! Or not Orthrus, Muffin Man. Jesus, oh my God.
Muffin Man, run!
Muffin Man, no.
Oh, that piece can be put to work though.
Yeah, who lives on Drury Lane. Getting into cover and getting his team back up. And again, though, that's really well played. I mean, they kind of came up from that lower level. They had a really clear assessment of what the plan was. And despite the fact that the Watson got knocked and the Bangalore got knocked, just that sheer surprise of that Wraith being behind them was more than enough to kind of secure them that win.
Yeah, easily sort of cleaned up, to be honest, actually. Quick little res. You can sort of tell as well when a team is shooting you like that with the charge rifle. Like it's probably they're not going to push you anytime soon.
Yeah,
you know, like it's just sort of. I think if you're picking up the charge rifle, you're kind of hanging back. You know, you're dedicated to that kind of.
I think that was 100%. Whatever that third squad was, there was just looking opportunistic, like try and get that person while they were rezzing, and it didn't work out. It was good reflexes on the part of Muffin Man, actually, to just kind of dive for cover as soon as he saw that ping in there. Good job just that whole fight, actually getting his team back in on the action too. And they're in the final 3 squads now, so they're trying to close down. Of the squads we have on the multi-twitch, they are the closest to finishing up. Should say we're coming up kind of last 20 minutes here in the kill race. This is a CGL Apex tournament brought to you in conjunction with Harsh Reality GG. Thanks, guys, for helping put this on. And thanks all of you for joining in. I'm Corbeck here with Vaughn in the casting booth, and Sultan handling our production. And he's providing you all the cool replays and everything else. And we're actually getting a chance to see DYS finish up here up close, thanks to him, as a lovely sliding sort of jump down there to seal that one off. And that's a mum the camera moment. That was a good one.
They're the kind of moments in Apex that make you feel like you're John Wick.
Yeah, exactly. You can see Muffin Man there kind of sat up and was like, that was how it's done. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah,
I like that. You don't actually see that many like kills coming off the long slide, so that was really something. That was cool. Defy in a bit of a rough situation here, no. They're getting fought out by some other team playing around the door. They want to get this res.
The door players with the Gibraltar, he baited that out quite well, actually.
They will get the res there, thankfully. So Zaylon will come back up. Hopefully that'll allow them to get out to this Pathfinder and get him res back in. And again, they're still playing around this door just a little bit, trying to I think kick it down. And you guys just saw a great replay of that little sort of dolphin slide.
The replay,
nice. that was cool. I didn't realize he did like a little jump.
Yeah, he needed to do a 360 on that jump just to add a little bit of flair, just to flex,
spin around.
If you can ever add a 360 in, add a 360 in.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Defy there. They didn't quite make it out of that one in one piece, for better, but it's all right. What can you do?
That's it. You win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some, and all of our teams actually play Twitch now get sent back to the screen here, as they'll all be preparing to hop back into their respective games.
See, BDG Black looks like they've lost. Oh no, there he is. Yep.
And
so it looks like they've lost a member, but he's back.
So taking a look at the scoreboard here, Solified Alpha has pushed forward. I would ignore Primal Esports Beta. I think that might be a misinterpretation. I'm not entirely sure.
122 kills. Whew.
Either that or like the best Apex team that's ever existed. I don't know. I have to check in with something.
They had a really good day.
Yeah, the fact that they don't have any finishes recorded makes me think that might be a stat line that's in progress. But so Solified Alpha is one of our NA teams. They have now moved to second place overall, which for now we'll say is first place unless something changes. So they are top. They are 329 points. BDG Black closing in with them a little bit, 304 points right there. Those other two, I believe, Insane RG and our Dream Team are both EU teams. You got Team Caliber coming up pretty fast and furious at 284. And then Blitz, one of the ones we have featured on the stream right now, kind of in the hunt, 262. Eternity up there as well. We started off with a little bit of Eternity footage there in and around there as well. But Solified Alpha and BDG Black really the two teams battling it out for those two spots, because honestly that points difference between them and I that's a matter of like a game, right? Like a
it is
one or two
that is one
games.
good game. Yeah, and that's where the pressure starts coming on a bit, because if one of the teams drops a game, it's big. You know, if the one team gets a good game, the other one drops it, it's sort of all over. So the pressure's on.
Yeah, we don't know if Primal has 6 kills. But I think that score may be being updated.
It's weird that they got that many kills without finishing.
Yeah, that is a bit strange. Yeah,
unless they just dropped capital, get quick 2 kills or something, then just quit the match. It's sort of...
to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, we're the tabulators, so kind of get fed whatever's on by our more intelligent individuals. Yeah, it's definitely a stat glitch. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Wolf's assessment there. It's definitely a stat glitch, because when you think about it, that would be 200 kills an hour. It's even if you were I'm gonna do the math, but anyway.
I was gonna say it'd be kind of like you'd go into their streams and just expect them to sit like sitting in a bath of coffee, just completely hyped up, like just let's go.
All the caffeine, that would be really be something. As we go back to our multi-switch here and get an idea of all our teams' situation looking a little rough. DYS though, actually for DYS and Defy, both down team members, but DYS I think even in a worse situation, as they'll lose somebody else. Yeah, there's no way they would have that large of a gap. I'm trying.
Yeah, so you can see DYS there. Like, that is a hard and scary place to go into. It is a little tunnel. You've got so much high ground around you. Like, there's only 2 escape routes. It's you've got to be certain when you push down into that area that you're not going to get third partied, because as soon as that second team comes along, you are there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah, Fusion Lee is still alive, still trying to fight. Only white shields, half health. They're doing their best, but I don't even know if they'll be able to recover those banners. And I think at this point in time, with the little bit of amount of time that we have left, you gotta just drop at the stage. I don't think it's even worth trying to recover those banners. The situation is broken.
Just push. Try to get a couple more points on the board and die.
Yep, that's exactly what. Is the correct call, I think.
Yeah. BDG are in a good spot though, with gold, purple, and coming out of capital with a fair bit of loot. So
with 12 squads left as well, like not even at the end game.
Are in a good position. There is we've seen them do a lot with worse loot. So I don't want to jinx them and say it's a win, but I am assuming they're going to make it pretty far.
Yeah, you'd have to make it pretty far with that setup, especially considering the caliber of those players. Just for reference, by the way, if that was the actual numbers for that team, they'd be averaging 3.3, repeating, of course, if I may make a callback to some very old nerd culture, kills per minute, which is probably physically impossible.
I was going to say, that would have to be impossible. Unless that's a lobby full of their friends and they're all just running at them.
Unless people are literally just lining up and letting you mow them down. That's close to impossible as you're going to get. Pretty funny thought, though. But BDG Black here, we're getting a little bit of a close-up with them and the ubiquitous drumsticks. out and ready.
Yeah.
As they're running around, I think they're looking to just get a little bit more loot here before they continue with their rotation. I think pretty much all have the guns they want in this situation, so that's good for them. Silly
Probably
Donut
just sort of extended magazines and a couple of barrel stabilizers, you know, and
yeah, I think that's exactly what they're looking for. Blitz now are focusing in on. They just won a tight gunfight over here in Capital, but they're getting into another one right now. Pretty good, decent positioning for them. Going to chuck that thermite in there and a frag as well, trying to force this other team out from their cover. There's those throwables you were talking about coming out in full force. But they're getting. Oh, are they getting third partied? I think I saw gunshots coming from the other direction, so they're kind of in a bit of a weird situation here. And sure enough, I think they are. Yeah. They'll finish off that. I believe it's a bloodhound popping out there, but now they're coming up underneath. And again, this is this thing we've seen multiple teams doing today, Vaughn, playing around these tall buildings, right? You use that the staircase and you kind of get that distraction going, and then you drop in. And Silly Donut's actually trying to kill his Pathfinder. He'll get him, but somebody else, I think, shot him. I'm not entirely sure exactly what happened there.
Yeah, maybe that second team. Or the third team,
it was. Yeah, the third team. Yeah, I don't know.
Aggressively taking out that Pathfinder, though, like just dropping down, no mercy.
Oh,
yeah. Where did that other shot come from?
Mystery.
The mystery shot. Bullet. It was a guy on the other side of the map that accidentally misfired. Like, it's a random G7 bullet.
No. He was supposed to hit the guy in front of him instead. Drops Silly Donuts halfway across the map. That was weird. Good fight by them though, and I am loving this kind of use of this verticality to move up these buildings here. And again, I wish I had something I could draw on screen with, because I'm drawing a little diagram on my pad. But it's really interesting to see how teams just don't think about that angle. And I do think there's a situation that you get into a lot of the time in Vaughn in this game where there are so many angles because of the movement abilities of the characters, because of the situation, that it becomes really hard for you to think of every possible direction from which you might be attacked, as opposed to say like Overwatch or Counter-Strike, where everything is very defined. Not very defined, but relatively defined. Like if you're in one position, you can be relatively sure that people are going to attack you from one or two different or three different directions.
Yeah, you've got A and B direction basically.
Exactly.
Whereas you feel like in Apex, and I guess that comes down to where the good players, like the reaction time, and being able to that snap lock onto the target, like boom, got just hit from above my head, like flip around and bang straight on target. That's where these guys are sort of excelling, I guess.
And the positioning we were talking about earlier too, just having of how you can protect yourself and minimize the number of sights on you at all times and things like that. It can't be overstated, and I think it adds a huge strategic, more of a huge tactical aspect to gameplay in Apex. That really does actually feel quite reminiscent of like something like Rainbow Six Siege in that regard, of just so many angles.
Yeah, you can see it now even with Iortha. Like he's instead of pushing out the guy, he's gone through the house. Like and again, just sort of creating, like you're saying, creating those angles where they've basically got to come through these doors now. There's only, I think there's 3 doors in that building. They've got to come through one of them, and you can obviously hear the footsteps. And where I myself probably would have taken the bait and chased that guy around the outside of the building and just sort of. Yeah.
I don't think I would have dropped down after that Pathfinder either. But
that's sort of like
fair in all fairness. But that's why I'm not a very good Apex. So that's why we're casting. Anything. Yeah, that's why I'm casting. But I cannot hit the broadside of a bard in this game. I swear.
Couldn't hit water if I fell out of a boat.
It's true. Honestly, like it's like the friggin' it's like a joke sometimes. Like, you're better standing directly in front of me. If you're to the left or to the right, that's dangerous territory.
I love it. You're like walking out there. I'm not trying to use this gun. It's very dangerous for everyone.
It's just like outline.
Including me.
Outline of my target on the wall, but
that's it. Yeah.
we're coming down to the final like 5-ish minutes. There is, I think, a little bit of a grace period as well for these teams to wrap up some of their matches, but all these teams kind of in the final set here as we speak. Blitz engaged in an intense gunfight in the train station with 7 kills already for Silly Donuts, and then 8 in the tank, or 8 squads left overall, and then 3 kills down there for BDG. So all coming in, but Silly Donuts will go down, and this is less than ideal situation. That's not a friendly Watson behind him, but Gibraltar is there. That's me getting. That's that backpack, I think. You see it, right? You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It looks a little bit like Watson. I'm not doing very well with profile recognitions today, I swear.
I think it even happens in game sometimes. You're like, where did that Pathfinder go? You're like, no.
That's a Watson.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Too many people with weird things sticking out of their backs, at the end of the day. But very well played here. I like how he used the decoy right there, too, at the door to try and bait this Pathfinder who he's currently engaged in this nasty little gunfight with. But he kind of put the decoy down, then popped the door open. I think he was hoping that he would get the Pathfinder to bite. Didn't quite work, but still managed to finish him off. As we look around kind of all these streams, I think a few of these teams are probably coming down to what will be, well, it might not be their last game, but they're awfully close here.
It's going to be close, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to struggle to sneak one in.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like if you're having a bad game, you haven't got much loot, do you quit out at this point and just try and get another good game quickly, or do you sort of play it out and flip the coin?
Yeah. It's kind of the meta strategy of these kill races, where you have to make decisions like that. But I'm taking a good look at these two on the left hand side of the multi Blitz and BDG. BDG has 2 squads left. They're currently Orthros is kind of riding the train right now. I think they're all on the train. Actually, they've still got a pretty big ring to contend with. As they're looking
train trip through the countryside, just looking at the sulfur lakes.
It's very relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm relaxed. Yeah.
Relaxing to watch, even actually. But they haven't quite found what they're looking for.
Yeah, only going 3 out. Kills for Author as well. Like at this point,
yeah.
They're in they started so well in Capital, coming out with really good loot, and obviously just haven't been able to find the people, unless it's been the teammates obviously taking all the kills.
Yeah, I'm sure they've been getting involved in the action.
Yeah.
Good, right? So we know that. But in the top left now, Blitz 1 has engaged with one of the final squads here. Rifle high ground. Straight up the hill, straight just into him.
Laser beam accuracy. Beautiful.
Yeah,
that 301. That. Yeah.
I love the use of the Mirage cloak there as well. Just kind of everything right there. That was really well played to get up to that high ground and just finish it off.
It almost reminds me of the Bane thing from Batman, where it's like, oh, you think high ground is your ally?
I was bored up here, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see the low ground until I was and now they're pushing in on the final squad up here as well, and they're
relentless.
Nicely finished. Nice.
Yeah, I was going to say good little squad wipe, nice and fast. You've got to be happy with that.
Meanwhile, BDG Black engaged on a little bit of high ground to high ground exchange of fire here, still with those big shields, so they're going to try and keep together, basically using the wingman as a poor man's sniper here, trying to direct some shots across. His teammates, though, you will notice, are sneaking up underneath. So while he's engaging with this big firefight, he's got the attention of at least 2 of them.
Just to the left. Yep, they are not going to hit it. They do have that Pathfinder there as well. You can almost see there's going to be a zip line pop up to the top, I'm going to assume, or at least like the Pathfinder pop up.
Now you're kind of stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea, right? Because you turn your back on the guy who's firing at you, who's accurate at this range, or do you turn around to fight Jazzy, who's basically making their lives kind of a living hell up there? And Jazzy will get knocked, though. Oh, that's a dangerous situation.
Those wingman hits are great work on Iortha, though. Those wingman hits from that range, he's pretty consistent.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Jazzy brought any of them down.
He went down so fast too that he probably didn't get much damage on them. Unfortunate, and almost, unless there's a zip line somewhere, they're not going to be able to recover him either. So
No,
very
they're
unlucky.
not.
Very, very
They're
unlucky.
flirting with the edge of the grace period now as well. This is a bad situation for BDG. They do have one advantage though, which is the ring is in their favor. They will be forced off that high ground, their opponents. So it's the only thing I think that can really maybe win this out for them at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cover for the enemy to take as well as they push across, but they are, at least, they're going to have to reposition. There's going to be moments where that gap sort of opens and you can get some shots in.
And we are coming up now, I should say, towards the end of our broadcast. I think we'll probably watch BDG Black finish this match out, and then we'll wrap up here. But it's an interesting situation we're seeing, kind of a tense end to the events. R99 fire in, get some good damage off of that with a little bit of help from his friends. And gold shields there on those opponents as well. So they're just winging shots over there, no pun intended, trying to get a knock. And now they don't have the ring advantage anymore, really. They're still kind of keeping them out, though, Vaughn. I mean, they do have a slight positional advantage.
I think they have the superior aim. The guys that they're facing, though, they're not bad players. You can tell by the way that they're positioning and stuff, and that they're decent. But that wingman is just keeping them at bay. That constant 45. It's sorry to get on the purple shields there. Put a fair bit of damage.
Oh, he stopped and dropped. My heart. Why are you doing this, man? He's got the drumsticks out too. Like, I think they're trying to see one of their opponents have kind of rotated around behind them to try and get closer, better access to the ring. They use that Wraith, I think, to just do a scout basically, and get in around there and get a good look at where they were. And they kind of got tricked, bamboozled. Oh, but they catch this Bangalore. Now this has got to be a kill. Yeah, all right. They get the knock on the Bangalore. Excellent. Now they've evened up the score a little bit, but they're kind of in the... No! Oh, no! He stopped to loot! Oh, and you can tell that he knows that he made a bit of a mistake there, too. That's kind of looked to the side. A ton of grenades coming in as he spams the shield there to take some of the damage, but really a lot of this is going to be on his teammate. I think Auto Cities is the one, or Audacities, that's right, is the only person left here. This is a rough situation. Just a slight misplay, to be honest. And Audacities is now on their own.
Decision, and it's all over. And my cat has just literally jumped into all my cables.
Oh no, Audacity's trying to fight it out, looking for the shot. It's a Peacekeeper Wraith fight. Oh no, he's gonna take the balloon away so he can get the high ground advantage and get the reload in, and that's just incredibly clever, all things considered. Just moving around, gets a ton of damage in. Oh, he did it! Well done, Audacities. Well done.
Jeez, the clutch.
Really well done.
What a way to end it too. That's beautiful work. That was beautiful.
Yeah, that was spectacular. Yeah, the going up the balloon so he can reload. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
Great play. Happy to see that from BDG Black, and they finished that game with first place and 28 kills. So really, really, really good from them. That will about do it here. Actually, I think we're about to see DYS maybe get a championship here at the end as well. But as they beat a Bloodhound down. But that will about do it for our. Was dark. That was dark.
Almost like it, yeah.
But that will about do it for our broadcast here. This has been the CGL in partnership with Harsh Reality GG Kill Race tournament here for Apex Legends. Thank you so much for dropping in and watching. You can see our final scores as they stand right now. Solified Alpha in the lead. BDG Black, though, could catch up with them based on that very finish of that last game that we just saw. Blitz as well, very close up there in the standings. We should make it clear all these standings are not yet finalized. There's still data that needs to be inputted, so the scoreboard that you're seeing right now at the end of this match is not the most accurate one that there will be. The final winners should theoretically be announced sometime later tonight in our Apex Discord, so everybody will get a chance to see. Ignore Primal Esports Beta. They did not average 3.3 kills a minute. That's a dirty lie. The number will be updated, in the future, but Yeah, thank you so much, Harsh Reality, for your support. Thank you for those of you who donated bits or resubscribed during the stream. I have been Corbeck, joined here by Vaughn. Vaughn, thank you so much for joining us all the way from
Thank you. It
Australia.
was a pleasure.
Yeah, it was
a pleasure.
And then a big thank you and round of applause for Sultan, who's been handling our production for the last 3 hours. Production, a difficult job, not one that I'm good at, but Sultan is amazing at it. He's been providing you with all the cool replays, the scene switches. He's been keeping up with the two of us as we've been jumping from team to team. And he also did all of our overlays for today. So he is an all-around superstar. Thank you so much, Sultan. We really appreciate it. But from all of us here at CGL, again, thanks to our partner, Harsh Reality, GG, and thank you so much for watching our Apex kill race today. Go ahead and join our Apex Discord, CGL Apex, if you're interested in more Apex events coming from us. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice evening.
Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Dangerous there, considering two of the team they have. It's been there. The select fire is what separates you from, good players from really the best. And there he goes again, demonstrating it perfectly. And just look at how fast he closes the distance. Now he's going to get around the backside of whoever this poor individual is, and that's just a brutal engagement there and a great knock by One Brutal Force. Or is that One Brutal Force? I can't remember his name. But great knock right there, all things considered. Look at him go. He's gonna get a whole squad. Brutal engagement there and a great.
That's a combo that I've used a little bit, the R99 and Prowler, and it's kind of counterintuitive because he's like, well, it's two SMGs, it's kind of just doubling up. It's not, I should have a long range weapon and a short range weapon. But when you kind of commit to that role and go,
like you necessarily need to aim for those precision headshots, but a nice little interesting bubble dance going on here in this bottom right corner.
The Gibby dance, I love him. And it finishes off with a nice little punch to the face. Yeah.
Top, looking down on some poor unsuspecting people here. Gibraltar popping that dome. Nope. It's gonna take a lot more than that. Oh, is it disaster after such a good initiation? It's all down to the Bangalore play again, and saves. Huge play by the Bangalore there. Blay has just been making huge plays for his team. The gas itself, right, is not as threatening perhaps as the gun you're carrying, right? It's not going to get the kills, and there's a nice little bubble assault, right?
Got someone like that on this. Just no delay. Instantaneous.
There's a giant pile of trash the size of Texas out there in the middle of it, so we're fighting back. Good. Of the round here, or of the tournament here. I think that's coming at the bottom of the hour, but until then, we'll definitely keep an eye on these multi-feeds, see if we can get some good action in. Until then,
damn, you suck with the Havoc. I haven't seen much of the Havoc, which honestly kind of surprises me, because you get that thing wound up and it can take on anything. The Havoc or the Devotion, if you've only got white shields and you're coming up against someone with purple, it would have to be something pretty drastic for them to take this win. And again, like, you get to this point, you've got 13. Wow, yeah. I suppose, first circle, they've probably got plenty here.
Oh no, they're third circle.
Yeah.
That's ambitious. 2 squads left. That's bold play.
Beautiful.
What
a great play.
Yeah, it was great play. You're totally right, Vaughn. That was spectacular. And they've got this lifeline, and their Demise with that ability to see everything drops a little sonar ping, and that's actually how they catch out this Bangalore running into the smoke. But it's not going to work because Demise can see everything.
Yeah.
They've kind of sacrificed their good positioning here and have put themselves in a bit of a dangerous spot where they're getting shot from multiple angles. Orthrus, though, he's going to turn it around.
I was going to say he's making use of that to work now the R99 as well, just blasting these guys down. And I love seeing this from players of this caliber where if that was me, I'd be dead already, and they're just through superior aim. But
I kind of do wonder, though, at what point in time do you just take a Pathfinder and just get out, get everybody back in and fighting?
Just get everybody back in, yeah. Or do you even...
I don't know. I'm watching Defy play through this right now, and you would think that maybe in this situation, an Arc Star or a Fragger would be kind of helpful, but wow, that was a push. Right. I mean, they were kind of in a bad position that quad, so I felt like they maybe didn't have a choice on closing, and they're trying to shut them down right now. But the ring coming in as well is putting a lot of pressure on these teams, and they're just gonna. This poor Caustic and the Wraith that was in here as well had no idea that they were coming like that. Oh no! Oh, he's getting shot at from distance. Oh. Put this on. And thanks all of you for joining in. I'm Corbeck here with Vaughn in the casting booth and Sultan handling our production. And he's providing you all the cool replays and everything else. And we're actually as the number of sites from you at all times and things like that. It can't be overstated. And I think it adds a huge strategic, well, more of a huge tactical aspect. Has engaged with one of the final squads here. Rifle high ground. Straight up the hill, straight into him.
Laser beam accuracy, beautiful. That 301, yeah.
Odin, and that's just incredibly clever. All things.